Parliament, inviting Richard Cohen others. I did see that. So I'm speaking to what I saw. I guess what I didn't see.
But in that communication, the Ghanaian Parliament Speaker is referring to Richard Cohen as the Right Honorable Speaker. Do you agree with the Ghanaian Parliament Speaker that Richard Cohen is your Speaker?
I was not part of the decision that generated that invitation.
So who is the Speaker?
So get me right. I just said that then I didn't have the occasion of seeing and Speaker Kofa and invitation. I did see the one that came from the Ghanaian
Ladies
Speaker.
and gentlemen, welcome to the most listened to radio breakfast show in Liberia, the OK Morning Rush, with your presenter, Clarence Piso Jackson.
Tomorrow, February 11, is Armed Forces Day. It will be celebrated at the Barclay Training Center, hosting the High Command of the Armed Forces of Liberia and the Ministry of National Defense. The AFL usually work with the Ministry of National Defense to put in place appropriate programs befitting the day. Last year, His Excellency retired Brigadier General Julius Madabio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, who himself served Liberia as an ECOMOG soldier, was the guest speaker. This year, I do not know who is going to be the guest speaker, but it's an occasion that brings together the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia most of the time, and other dignitaries of the government, as well as friends of Liberia and members of the diplomatic corps. I'm sure that is going to be the case tomorrow. Welcome to the OK Morning Rush. It's on 99.5. It has always been a colorful ceremony at the BTC. Man, you go there, you see the men and women in arms of the armed forces taking instructions and going about the regular and different military drills. I mean, when you witness the ceremony, then you have an appreciation of our army. I'd like to say good morning to all of you. Some of the kids are returning to school after the short break. Some of them are still on the break. And I was asking myself, what's happening to the curriculum? I thought all of them supposed to be home at the time and all of them supposed to resume. Good morning to all of you across Liberia. It seemed the politics this year will be heated. Of course, understandable. We're moving on. The OK Morning Rush, the biggest thing on radio in the morning. The CDC, is it the Congress or the coalition, but the CDC expelled 3 presidents. We will talk about that sometime later and talk about other issues. The last time the justice minister joined the president to break ground for a judicial complex here in Monrovia. And yesterday, Vice President Jeremiah Kpankong was in Vonjima in Lofa County breaking ground for a judicial complex there. We endeavored to go to Lofa to talk to our correspondent, Jim Scully there, who witnessed the ceremony. Today is Tuesday, the day after Monday and before Wednesday. Of course, tomorrow is a national holiday throughout Liberia. Let's take a break and we'll come back here.
Are you seeking financial empowerment, dreaming of building your future? Then your solution is Bokonjide Group of Companies. Bokonjide, your trusted partner in microfinance, construction, and general services. We provide microfinance for many institutions like House of Representatives, the Liberian Senate, National Port Authority, Governors Commission, LRA, Gender Ministry, Corporate Development Authority, GAC, and Auto Lines Ministry and Agency, with a percentage range from 15% to 20%. At Bokonjide, we understand your aspiration, your goals, and your dreams. That's why we offer tailored microfinance solutions designed to uplift individuals and communities alike. Whether you are an entrepreneur with a vision or a family aiming for a better tomorrow, our microfinance services pave the way to financial independence. But that's not all. Bokonjide Group of Companies doesn't just stop at microfinance. Our expert construction team brings your architecture dreams to life. From residential to commercial projects, we craft spaces that inspire, innovate, and endure. And when it comes to general services, Bokonjide is your one-stop destination. From facility management to logistics, we ensure seamless operation every step of the way. With our apartment rental and furnished apartment for long and short-term stay, you will enjoy the luxury of comfort. Join the thousands who have entrusted their dreams to Bokonjide. Experience, unmatched professionalism, dedication, and integrity. With Bokonjide Group of Companies, your success is not just a goal, it's our mission. Visit our Capitol Building office or find us in the Royal Garden Plaza on Crown Hill Broad Street, or call today 0770-520-958 or 0777-017-603 or 086-622-599 or email Bokonjide Group of Companies at gmail.com. Bokonjide Group of Companies, microfinance, construction, general services, your partner in progress. New Day, do something.
I say, my people, First National Savings and Loans Liberia not do it again. I say, my people, y'all listen. First National Savings and Loan Liberia, now do it again. Oh.
But when I compu, why you shouting all around the place like you not found bank manager well so?
Namo, even if I found bank manager well, I would be very happy.
Like how now?
Because all the things that the First National Savings and Loans Liberia doing, it will really take away our stress.
In what way it will take away your stress?
Look, Namo, if you're looking for a good place to save your money you suffer for, or you want your money to receive good interest over a period of time, then go to the First National Savings and Loans Liberia. At First National Savings and Loans Liberia, you can open savings account, current account, church savings, SUSU savings, and mobile banking. You will get account SMS alerts right away, meaning as soon you save the money, you will get a message in your phone right away that you not save the money.
So compu, the way you not do all the fancy then so what should do now if I want to open my own account?
Namo, when it comes to opening a saving account for church, school, and organization, you can call them and they can open the account for you right to your own house, school, church, or organization. If you want to pay your children's school fees, you can also do it when you call them too. Try to join them to make things easy for yourself.
I really missing good in you.
Also, First National Savings and Loans Liberia can offer you different ways to do what the poor people call fixed deposit, or to keep your money starting from 13% per annual, meaning per year, for Liberian dollars deposit, and 10.25% per annual, meaning also per year for United States dollars deposit, for what the poor people call fixed deposit. First National Savings and Loans Liberia. We are located on 10th Street, Sinker. Better still, you can call us on 0779 206 231 or 0886 027 466, and we will come to you. First National Savings and Loan Liberia is a microfinance deposit taking institution. At First National Savings and Loans Liberia, we put you and your business first.
It's from the Public Procurement Concession Commission.
Again, good news for you. The Public Procurement and Concessions Commission, PPCC, now bring one new system for changing how government contracts work in Liberia. And which one? It's called the Electronic Government Procurement System, EGP for short. You can check tenders, pay for government contracts, and even track your results right from your phone. No middleman, no paper wahala. Everything is fast, clean, and fair.
So, wow, they still helping small business people, am I saying?
Yes, so EGP giving everybody equal chance. Whether you get small business or you market woman, even the big companies. In fact, over 580 vendors now already registered, and 100 plus contracts worth over 30 million United States dollars now already passed through this system here. In fact, PPCC has been training more government institutions to join starting this January 2026, meaning there are more opportunities for Liberian businesses.
Wow. So how can I register?
It's very easy like ABC. Just go online to www.epprocurement.ppcc.gov.lr and register. You can start bidding straight from your phone or your computer. EGP, transparency, accountability, and value for money.
Let's celebrate all the time. My fellow Liberians, once again, the season has come when the heartbeat of our nation grows stronger, when sons and daughters from every county, every community, and every corner of our society gather under one flag to celebrate the National County Sports Meet. For decades, this meet has been more than a tournament. It has been a powerful expression of who we are. One people, one nation, one destiny. This event is not only a display of skill, courage,
we are brave. We are passionate.
Hey, Tanu, I need cash and there is no ATM around here.
Really? Did you try the EcoBank POS?
POS? I said I need cash. What is it about POS?
Judy, you can get your cash through the POS, All you need to do is to visit any EcoBank Express point or petrol trade gas station and request to use the POS. Guess what? It can also take other bank cards.
Oh, widow, you mean cards from banks overseas too?
Yes, it should just be your Visa card.
Wow, great. So when there is no ATM around me, I will just use the POS to get my money fast. EcoBank has made it too easy, man. EcoBank and innovation that will 5 and 6 so.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Welcome back to the Morning Rush. At this juncture, let's take today's edition of the Fact Check segment from Local Voices Liberia.
Good day and welcome to the Fact Check segment. This segment debunks disinformation and provides the verified facts of statements made online and on the radio. On January 31, the political leader of the Citizens Movement for Change, Musa Hassan Belete, claimed in an interview on Smile FM in Zwetru, Grand Jide County, that he is the only politician in Liberia who has publicly declared his assets. He made the claim while responding to a question about the source of his wealth, adding that his declared assets clearly show where his money comes from. We searched and found a February 2024 post by the Nimba District No. 7 lawmaker on social media that shows a snapshot of his asset declaration after he submitted it to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. We then looked for other politicians who have publicly disclosed their asset declarations. In our search, we found a June 22, 2024 post from the Office of Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn that contains scanned copies of his asset declaration submitted to the LACC, published on his official Facebook page, like Representative Ability. This means Kuhn has also made his declaration publicly accessible. Based on the evidence currently available, we conclude that the claim made by Representative Musa Ability that he is the only politician in Liberia who has publicly declared his assets is misleading. Like him, Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn has also publicly declared his assets by posting his declaration on his official Facebook page where it is accessible to the public. Grand Bassa County Senator Wesson Kafinde claimed on state radio that no Bassa person has ever received 55,000 votes in Grand Bassa County, referencing the 55,000 votes he obtained during the 2023 senatorial election. Senator Findlay made the statement while discussing his political influence in Grand Bassa County. To verify this claim, we reviewed official election results from Grand Bassa County covering the period from 2005 to 2023. The review shows that Senator Findlay recorded 55,629 votes in the 2023 senatorial election, the highest number of votes ever obtained by a candidate in Grand Bassa County within the reviewed period. The second highest vote total was recorded by Liberty Party former standard bearer and presidential candidate Charles Walker Brunskin, who received 49,889 votes in Grand Bassa County during the 2017 presidential election. Based on official election results from 2005 to 2023, Senator Wesson Finlay's claim that no Bassa person has previously received 55,000 votes in Grand Bassa County is correct. No other candidates within the period under review received up to 55,000 votes in the county. This is all we have time for on the Fact Check segment. This segment is part of an MOU between Local Voices Liberia, OKFM, Pram FM and Care Radio to counter disinformation and help the public make informed decisions. This MOU is funded by the Liberia Media and Empowerment Project, implemented by Internews with funding from the European Union. The funder or partner had no say in the editorial decision leading to the production of this fact check segment. We will be back on Wednesday with more fact check reports to help you know the facts. If you want us to fact check a claim for you, please send us a text to WhatsApp on 0777 556 296 and we will definitely check for you. Also follow us on Facebook at Local Voices Liberia, X or Twitter at LVL Fact Check, and go to our website www.localvoicesliberia.com. My name is Olivia Bawon. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Well, we'd like to say thanks to Local Voices Liberia. Thanks to all of you for all you do for Liberia. Let's go to our Facebook page, and as we will do sometimes, recognize some of the people who've joined us. Maybe we go to the BBC. What's happening in Senegal? Let's know. Senegalese police say they have arrested 14 people and broken up a Pie gang operating between the country and France. Those arrested, who are all Senegalese, were part of a transnational criminal group that has been in operation since 2017, according to a police statement. It said the group was accused of organized crimes, rape of minor honor 15 Salome, and international transmission of HIV and AIDS. They allegedly repeatedly forced the boys to have unprotected sex with men who were mostly HIV positive and fainted. 4 of the accused are said to have been acting on the instructions of a French man arrested in February or in France in April this year or last year in exchange for money transfers. Wow. Let's talk about a rubber boat carrying 55 passengers, including 2 babies, has overturned off the coast of Libya, the United Nations Migration Agency says. The only survivors, 2 Nigerian women, were rescued by the Libyan authorities on Friday, the International Organization for Migration announced on Monday. The boat was carrying migrants and refugees from various African countries, it said. The boat sank after taking on water approximately 6 hours after departing from the coastal city of Azilawal in northwestern Libya. In Libya, one of the sons of the late President Gaddafi, Islam Gaddafi, the other son, was killed the other day, just minutes after they withdrew the security guards from his house. He has since been buried. So like I said, the vice president was in Lofa yesterday. So we'll go to Lofa to talk to our Lofa County correspondent. And something got my attention in Lofa, as posted on our OKFM page. There is a man in Lofa who is locally making shoes. And I saw him with several kinds of the shoes. And I think he presented 1 or 2 pairs to the vice president. You think that man really gave the shoe to the vice president because he wanted the vice president to wear the shoe? Well, it's optional whether the vice president wears it or not. But he did that on purpose. He did that to draw the attention of the government to support him. So that, you know, and from what I saw, it appears to me that if that man got a little bit of support from the government, I think he's going to do better. He said the shoe is $140, something like that. Shoes, locally made, rare in Lofa, I'm told. And he displayed, I think I saw 3 different pairs of the different shoes. And I was like, wow, this man is right over there in Lofa and making the shoes. And when you see the heel of the shoe, guarantee, and the size is also there. I read it. That's why I want to talk to James. I wish I had that man here, so I can bring him. I want to ask him some questions. How is he making those shoes that they are so unique the way they are? What does he need to go further? That kind of man. If we can give him all of the support, probably some of the materials he need may not be in country, or maybe, I'm just thinking that a man sits in Lofa and he's able to prepare that kind of shoes over there. If that man gets the required support, it could change his story around. That's the essence. That is the reason why he decided to do what he did. The Professor Alhaji G.V. Nkrumah Memorial Service and Legacy Celebration Group reminds the public of the upcoming memorial service and legacy celebration honoring the late Professor Alhaji G.V. Nkrumah. I'm told it's going to be tomorrow, 12 noon, at ACO's operational office on Somalia Drive somewhere in Gardnersville. I'm told by the organizers that the event is part of efforts to recognize Professor Alhaji Nkrumah's significant contributions to Liberia's democracy, media development, and national identity. They tell us that the program will include prayers and tributes and reflection on his life and leadership, and they want everybody to be there. When I was growing up, I used to like Mate Barrow. And then I later realized that Barrow's president at that time, I think it was Alhaji G.V. Nkrumah. Those were the names. Alhaji G.V. Nkrumah for Mate Barrow, and then Archibald Bernard for Invisible 11 IE and all these things. They played, they play their role. They pay their dues, in different ways. I will talk to my friend Abdullahi Kiatamba. I think he's one of the organizers, or he's a committee member. I will talk to Abdullahi Kiatamba to give us some information about the program. I have the approved budget, the signed budget. I was going through the budget, and I just ran over some things, segment by segment. Some some highlights from the budget, the current budget. The legislature, 53.7 million. Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, 15.4 million. Office of the Vice President, 4.2 million. Office of the Ombudsman, is this US 758,000? A million. Civil Service Agency, 4.1 million. Liberia Institute for Public Administration, 1.2 million. Ministry of Information, 3.8. Ministry of Foreign Affairs, 27.2 million. Liberia Revenue Authority. The Liberia Revenue Authority is one institution of the government I always thought supposed to have a very good portion of our national budget. Why? Because they are collecting our taxes. Besides collecting our taxes, the LRA, I believe when you give them more money, they will collect more money. There are a lot of things these people need to do with money. Ministry of Local Government, but yeah, because as of the time of the stuff, it should have been, anyway, Ministry of Internal Affairs, but I would say the Ministry of Local Government, 57.1 million. The Judiciary, 32 million. National Security Agency, the NSA, 22 million. Ministry of Health, 102 million. Ministry of Education, 136. University of Liberia, from what I see, was increased from 33.9 to 40 million. Ministry of Youth and Sports increased from 5.7 to 9.1 million. Ministry of Public Works increased from 57 million to 114.2. Liberia Electricity Corporation increased dramatically from 3.7 to 50 million. Rabos International Airport. Yeah, I think the government, the president is trying to focus more of the attention on the electricity sector to ensure affordable and available electricity. It should be. Rabo's International Airport 9.1, National Disaster Management Agency 1.3. Is the money enough for disaster responses across the country? Memorial City Corporation 4.5. I have been talking that Memorial City Corporation gets a lot of money. I need to go back to the previous budget to see what was there and what's there now. Pinsville City Corporation, these different city corporations need a lot of money. To be honest with you, you heard Robert Bestman talking about the Wentown, one of the only landfill area here, or the biggest in the country. That place has outlived. If we need to talk about maybe finding another place or whatever, but they need these different, especially the two cities in Moravia, we have to have some serious attention. Now, yesterday I was thinking about something that has to do with the National Identification Registry. You know, the government, they put a halt to the issuance of the national ID card, I think sometimes in April or June of last year, if my memory is well this morning. And I was wondering, when would they, I don't want to call it a ban, but when will we go back to it? When will they start issuing the national ID card? Because it's important. Some people own have expired. Some people own destroyed. Some people do not have it. They've never taken it before. They want to have it. The national ID card is very, very important. Very, very important for travels and for business, for travel and other things. I am just reminding the president, I am thinking, and I was talking to sources over there. One thing they were telling me was, I think there is this information that went to the president that the system they are currently using should be upgraded. The system they are currently using should be upgraded if they are to continue eroding the whole country or more people. So I think they've been talking their own technical things. I want to remind, I think it would be good, for example, maybe the president sets up how they can call the group, RMCC. The president set up some kind of committee, because what I was hearing last minute of time was there were powerful people around the presidency who were trying to influence the NR in the whole procurement process about whose company or what supposed to take a contract to redevelop or upgrade the system, the existing infrastructure in terms of the technology and everything they need to do the enrollment. So they've been having some issues, and I'm told the NR, maybe some people there, they didn't think it was a good idea and all these kinds of things. So maybe the president could set up a committee that will independently look at the available documentation, look at it, committee, set up a committee, look at the available documentation, read through it, convince itself very well, and then you can put up a bid for people to apply. Because the ID card process is important. I understand the other time there was this big debate, I think they even went to the legislature about, the government's supposed to pay for people ain't supposed to pay for the ID card versus no, people supposed to pay for the ID card and all these kinds of, I can understand the complications associated with the national identification process. In some places, people want people to pay beyond what the NRA itself is telling people to pay, and all these kinds of complexities are there. But it is a good thing for the president to try to set up a committee so that we put up bids, somebody wins the contract, and then we kind of develop whatever you want to develop over there and begin to enroll the country. The national ID card is very important. Some Liberians do not have it. Sometimes when you travel to other places and you have your national ID card and you're able to, identify yourself as a Liberian, it helps. Sometimes in the absence of the passport, the national ID card can pull the trigger and get things done. Let's go to the CDC. No, but before we go to the CDC, the former president of the Press Union of Liberia, Peter Kokwe, wrote a piece on Facebook. And he will write a lot, but I thought it was important not to ignore this one, because it has to do with integrity, it has to do with perception, it has to do with democracy, it has to do with the symptom of one, it didn't affect me, it is good. But it affects me, it is bad. You know, he wrote a piece. He says, what goes around comes around. Verbal assault in Liberia's political culture. Liberian politics has never been gentle with words, Peter Kwekwe said. From radio talk shows to campaign rallies, from social media posts to legislative debates, verbal assault has become a routine political tool. Insults are repackaged as boldness. Yeah. In other words, what Peter Kwekwe would say, when some people insult people, then other people say, yeah, the man is bold. The guy, the man, the woman, the girl is a bold person. Public humiliation is excused as truth-telling. Character attacks are rewarded with attention, applause, and loyalty. Exactly. He said many people do not lead these assaults, but they enable them. They deploy attacks, whatever, laugh along, share clips, offer excuses, or remain silent, believing it is safer to stand close to power than close to principle. In the short term, that calculation often appears to work. In the long term, it rarely does. Verbal attacks in Liberian politics do not succeed because of one individual alone. They succeed because they are socially endorsed. Yes, because the society endorses anything. The society makes wrong to look right. So it becomes a normal thing. He says, a politician mocks an opponent's intelligence, tribe, background, or morality. Supporters cheer. Commentators dismiss it as politics as usual. Others stay quiet, unwilling to challenge someone aligned with their preferred side. Over time, a clear message is sent. Humiliation is acceptable. Respect is optional. Power excuses cruelty. This is how verbal assault becomes normalized, not as a deviation, but as a political style. The benefit of silence and its cost. Peter Kwekwe said many Liberians tolerate or support verbal abuse for strategic reasons. Silence offers protection. Alignment offers access. Speaking out feels risky in a political environment where loyalty is often valued more than integrity. But silence is never neutral. It quietly strengthens the very culture that eventually turns inward. Once verbal assault becomes acceptable against them, it soon becomes acceptable against anyone. Political alliances shift. Targets change. Today's supporter becomes tomorrow's embarrassment. Today's defender becomes tomorrow's traitor. And when that moment arrives, the same crowd that once applauded cruelty offers no refuge. Liberia's recent political history already teaches this lesson. Leaders and movements rise by tearing others down, only to be consumed by the very tactics they once encouraged. Yeah, they tear others down by the very, when they use certain things to bring other people down. But when the other people come down and they get in the space, and other people want to use the same tactics, then they say, oh, no, they want that, they want that, they want that. He says, make no mistake, verbal assault creates a fragile political ecosystem, one built on fear rather than trust. In such a system, debate disappears and is replaced by ridicule. Accountability is mistaken for betrayal. Criticism is met not with ideas, but with personal attack. Too often, our so-called intellectuals are those most adept at insulting others. Eventually, governance suffers. When language becomes a weapon, policy becomes secondary. The loudest voice prevails, not the wisest one. This is not karma, it is consequence. What goes around comes around. It's not superstition. It is a social cause and effect. A political culture that rewards verbal purity will in time turn that rudeness on everyone, including those who once benefited from it. We are seeing it now over. No alliance is permanent enough to protect everyone in a system that fews on immunity. When we tolerate verbal assault in politics and public life, we are not merely choosing sides. We are choosing the rules of the game itself. It is regrettable, though not surprising, that some government officials and unacceptably some media outlets and journalists are complicit in this politics. Our country does not lack passionate voices. What it lacks at times is restraint, dignity, and courage in how power is contested. Rejecting verbal assault does not mean rejecting accountability or strong criticism. It means insisting that ideas be confronted without destroying human dignity. It means understanding that how we fight today shapes how we are governed tomorrow. Just look around for a moment. Can you feel the tension in the air? Peter Kwekwe asks. Political cultures are not inherited by accident. They are built speech by speech, silence by silence. And the country we end up with will reflect not only who spoke the loudest, but who decided what kind of speech was acceptable in the first place. Because in politics, as in life, what goes around rarely stops where we expect it to. All Peter Kwekwe is saying is that, look, we now have a political culture in the country where today, when other people are insulting other people and using bad words and doing cruelty to other people, because certain group of people are in favor of that, they will clap their hands. All in the names of power and politics. But when those same people are in the very positions of power and politics, and what they use to come to the power to come to politics and get the power, when they turn the machine, political machine gun on them and start to use the same thing, then they seem not to want to take it anymore. Then they say, oh, the president is like this. All Peter Kwekwe is saying is the moment we decide to frown at the things that are not good and healthy for our democracy. Some people insult people in the name of freedom of speech or in the name of politics or in the name of expressing themselves. They make it look like, oh, I'm just being bold. I'm not rude. They say things and they say, but they will not curse. Most of the time, right? They say something when you say amen, they say, my man, I think I call that English, that common English. But I say English, you know when somebody use it on you, or use it on your parent, your pa, or your ma, or anybody close to you, you know you will not be happy, but you use your other people in the name of politics. And Peter did not leave the media out in this one. All of us journalists, the way we do it, the way we say, the way bluntly some of the things we say on the radio, we are so, the words that come from our mouths. We have a whole society enculturated, and sometimes I think, where is our Liberian culture? Go on the social media. When you see people using profanities, you wonder. But of course, this is what the politicians like. You who can say that, the politician feel that, oh, Paku, you strong. The man, I'm a man. The man can defend me. The man understand the issue. The man strong. Then I always say to young people, they destroy you because you know what? Those things will follow you. Those things will follow you. Do not do for them. I've always said it. Do not do for these people what they cannot do for themselves. Do not do for them what they cannot. If you were to put them in a room, the things they will not do and say there, don't do it for them. The country, other people can have politics more than what we have here. but they do it with civility because they think about the peace, the stability of the country. They think about their kids coming up and listening to words that are unpleasant for their ears. Here, sometimes we don't care. Or in the name of politics. That's why Peter says, what goes around comes around. The same things you used yesterday and made it look like, yeah, it was nothing. You know, that's what can happen. CDC expels 3 dissident collaborators. That's how they call it. The Congress for Democratic Change announces the immediate expulsion of the following Unity Party dissident collaborators: Senator Zoe Penner, Councilor Kanyuk Bala, Representative Samson Sano County District 2. Their expulsions are due to actions deemed disloyal and in violation of sections 38, 39, 48, 41A, 42, 44, 45, 46, and section 47 of the party's constitution. Section 47 states membership in a CDC may cease by written or verbal withdrawal, constructive withdrawal by open declaration of transfer of loyalty to another political party, expulsion endorsed by the neck or deaf. This expulsion action is a direct response to nearly 18 months of conduct that the CDC considers damaging to the party's interests and in violation of its constitution and bylaws. These individuals have used the public platforms to denigrate the CDC and have aligned themselves with the Unity Party government, which the CDC believes does not uphold the values of good governance. The CDC does not condone such actions and affirms that these individuals are no longer affiliated with the party. They have chosen their path, one of reputational ruin and historical insignificance. The damage inflicted by their tremendous or their treacherous conduct is a stain upon their own legacies if they are any. These expulsions are lessons to any would-be deviants purporting to be members of the Matic CDC, they said. By their deviant and anti-CDC conduct, these expelled individuals have absolutely no ties with the CDC, as they are delinquent in every definition of political party membership. The CDC cautions the public not to do business with these expelled individuals in the name of the CDC, as anyone engaging with these party deviants does so at their own risk and peril. CDC remains committed to its people-centered principles and will continue to move forward as we prepare to unseat the failed Unity Party government in 2029. The party's chairman, John Gakowo, wrote this one. So, I was concerned. When I saw, remember yesterday I spoke to Kanyok Bala, right? And one of the officials of the CDC Youth Wing, those of you who were listening yesterday, the president called and said Kanyok Bala is not a sedition, and he was challenging Kanyok Bala to make available any CDC membership card. He said the man are sedition. So the man got expelled by the party. Then I said, but I thought the man said the man are sedition. But again, the man is not the party chairperson, so maybe Kanyok is a registered member of the party. But Representative Samson of Sino, is he a CDC man? I'm asking because I know he contested on the CDC's ticket, but he is originally from the National Patriotic Party. And he contested on the CDC's ticket because at that time, the CDC had a coalition. It was in bed with the MPP and Alex Tyler, Liberia people, I may have forgotten the party's name, LPDP, Liberia People's Democratic Party. When the elections go over, the MPP pulled out of the coalition. At that point, I thought Samson now is an MPP partisan, but the CDC has expelled him. And then I asked Chairman John Gakowo last evening when I saw the CDC release, and I even wanted him to comment on the photo because I was concerned. I asked him, I said, but is Samson not an MPP man? How can you expel a CDC man? This was his response. He says, he ran on the CDC ticket and carries himself as a CDC lawmaker. I don't know whether that answers my question. Running on the CDC's ticket, like I said, the man At that time, the CDC had a coalition. And then a few minutes later, I would see on his Facebook page that the chairperson of the National Patriotic Party, former representative now at Attorney at Law, George Moluba, will say to the CDC, please leave our parties in. That man is not a sedition. How can you suspend him? By the way, 8:15, the Public Procurement and Concession Commission will come in here as our guest. And 9 o'clock, some folks from the Ministry of Gender and some of their implementing partners will be here. So let me talk to NPP National Chair, former representative, now lawyer, George Moluba, about the whole issue about Samson Ware. By the way, I spoke to Janga Ko. I also wanted to hear from him, but he did not confirm that I should call him. If he does last minute of time, I will call him. Representative Moluba, now a lawyer. Good morning. Welcome to OKFM.
Yeah, morning, Clarence, and good morning to all our listeners.
Okay, so long to short, I saw a post from you minutes after the CDC issued a statement last night expelling 3 persons, inclusive of Representative Samson Ware. And like I am saying, I was also concerned. I communicated with Janka Kowo. What is it? Is he still a card-bearing member of the MPP? Is he an MPP partisan that took him to the coalition to contest on the ticket when you were in bed with the CDC, or he is originally a sedition CDC member?
I don't know what the CDC want with respect to Samson Ware and our partisan, our elected in the legislature. And by the way, the 2023 nomination form was signed by 2 persons. I, Moba Molu, and I, George S. Moba, as Secretary General of the coalition, based on the allocation of the opposition in the framework document that brought all together as a coalition then. So I wish to state here clearly that at no point in time I challenge the CDC. I challenge the CDC to display for the public consumption any piece of document they have, like membership form or ID card, which does coming from Samson Ware declaring his membership to the Congress for Democratic Change. You know, people don't understand the word coalition. Coalition exists when when 1 or 2 political parties coming together to seek state power, and when that is over, it's over. And when we left the coalition, we communicated with the Congress for Democratic Change, and indeed, Anthony Cole responded to my communication, and I placed that communication to the domain of the public to peruse it and make their own judgment. You know, so it is unfortunate as a lawyer who's supposed to live beyond the reason of layman to allow people to mislead him in that manner and form. And I challenge you for a public debate on this issue.
So, in other words, Samson Ware is a member of the National Patriotic Party.
Samson Ware is a card-carrying member of the National Patriotic Party, and by the way, he is in good standing. He works all day to day, and people try to capitalize on the fact that he wore a barrel. Look at that barrel emblem. You know, this is what most of the small sedition don't understand. The barrel in the middle.
I don't think we have small B. We just have seditions. They are members of the party.
I want you to look at it clearly. When you look at the middle of that barrel, you see the pepper barrel. The pepper barrel at the time reflected the representation of the MPP. So anybody wearing that barrel does not necessarily wear it because you're a member of the Congress for Democratic Change. It's because you're a member of the coalition. And that emblem will represent 3 political parties, namely the Congress for Democratic Change, the Liberian People Democratic Party, and the MPP. So for once to announce that Representative Samson Ware is expert and trying to use the barrier as a classic example to provide evidence for what he has seen, it's out of order.
Okay. So what I wanted to know was now that he's an MPP partisan. Now, Representative George Moluba, I was thinking about something the other day. You know, as we discussed the politics in the history of the country, especially at this time, and I want to put you publicly on record to see whether you will avail yourself. I want to reach out to you, George Moluba, now chairman of the NPP. I want to reach out to Luther Tape, the current chair of the Unity Party, and I want to reach out to Janka Kowo, the chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change. Are you available if the two consented to a debate? I want us to look at Liberia's democracy following the sensation of hostilities, which political party led very well, who did what, and all these kinds of things. Are you available if I extended the invitation to you and the two others if they consented to come?
Yeah, it is unfortunate that when you tested me, I will order the country back. I'm prepared at any time to appear for a public debate to defend the record of the NPP. I'm prepared for that debate, and I challenge my two colleagues to accept that invitation.
Oh, the men they only accept. The men challenging the men to accept it too.
No, let Tabe come and defend the record of the United Party, as well as Janga could defend the record of the Congress for Democratic Change, and let me come defend our record.
Okay, thank you.
I think it is very good for us to tell our story.
Thank you, Representative George Moluba, former born Representative George Moluba. Yeah, the other day I was thinking about, I wanted to bring the three chairpersons of the three political parties that have governed Liberia in our recent political history: the NPP, the CDC, and the UP. So George Moluba has accepted. I will extend same to Tony Allo, Jangako, and the UP chairman. If they accept, I will bring them here, 3 or then 2 hours, so you hear from them. So the man said, no. The man is so if Jangako is listening, any official, I'm not just saying member of the CDC, any ranking official of the CDC who is listening, and you still believe that Sansiwa is a CDC member and the expulsion was nothing wrong, you explain because he's a member, you can call, we'll pick up your call and let's have a conversation. NPP is challenging you now. The man is saying the man is not a CDC man. You had absolutely no right to expel him whatsoever. Let me take to the telephone lines now on 0777-700-99 and 0555995995 as we pave the way for the arrival of our friends from the Public Procurement and Concession Commission. Oh, I say I would have spoken to Abdullah Kiatamba. I will do that before I take the 9 o'clock guest. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence.
I thought you said you were on sabbatical. I hope I'm getting this correct.
I'm still on sabbatical. It doesn't mean I can call.
Just call your name. Let's hear you.
Some clarity on issues. D. Eric Baye here.
Eric Baye, former Secretary General of the LPDP. Let's hear you.
Thank you. I understand. I saw the zest and enthusiasm in you wanting to bring the three political parties leaders to discuss their government. Unfortunately, I think Honorable George Moluba will be discussing both the NPP and the coalition because he formed part of those two governments.
No, I will restrain his discussion to defending the records of the NPP as a government.
But you also have to defend the record of the coalition.
Hey, my man, when they come with all I want, you on sabbatical and you want to throw Mogherini.
My man, not because we taking a break means that we cannot. I'm not discussing their politics, but telling you they were part of the government.
Okay.
Let me come into the issue. This is the main reasons what I call. I think my friends from the CDC, whoever did the press release, I think they made a mistake.
Why?
I vividly remember the assistant minister right now of foreign affairs, I think Adrina Taylor or Charlene Taylor. Charlene Taylor brought something weird to me and said, SG, this man is from the NPP, but we need the coalition on our side so as when we go to primary, we will have a victor. A victory will come outside. Since the three parties were soliciting, the other side. So that was how the LPDP and NPP worked together. That brought something weird to the coalition ticket.
Okay.
So in all fairness, I think he is, and I'm not even thinking, I know he is a member of the NPP.
Okay. Okay, we heard you, Eric Paye, former Secretary General. Let's go to this other line. Hello?
Yes, Clarence, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
This is John J. Bagwell.
Former Sub Bakbai, let's hear you now.
Thank you. And thank you for the insightful conversation this morning. And I listened to the embattled chairman of the MPP because I know there is a political issue with the MPP that I know, but that is their issue.
Except that no other member, ranking member of the MPP has said that he's in battle and he's not a chair. So
Until you're not being following the news.
Focus on the news. All right, Chief.
No.
I hear you.
You want to make that one debate.
No, but what you're my second debate, and I'm just saying I have not heard. I have not seen any.
Know, and I'm saying what I know.
Yeah, you saying what you know, but I said unless I hear it. So I just announced the man. All right, no problem. All right, I agree, the man. Thank you, the man. All right, let's agree to your argument in battle. Let's go to your point.
So here is my issue. The first thing Anthony John Marva refused to understand is that in the coalition document it states whichever party in the coalition have a stronghold will maintain that ticket. Meaning that the host of Eastern Belt is a CDC stronghold, so it's not MPP stronghold. At the time going to primary, or something we have to lobby with the CDC to get on the CDC ticket, or not MPP ticket. So maybe he has forgotten that.
No, something we have got on the coalition's ticket.
Ticket to CDC. Because the host of Eastern Belt, it is the stronghold of the CDC.
No, he got, listen, Chief, he got on the coalition's ticket from the MPP, but he was on the coalition ticket because there was a coalition.
You're getting me wrong. You're getting me wrong. I'm saying to you in the coalition document, it states every stronghold of the political party that make up that coalition, you will take the flag for your stronghold.
Okay, in other words, I think I got it now. In other words, the whole Southeastern region is a stronghold of the CDC, but right, even in the coalition, anybody supposed to run in the South is supposed to be from the CDC. But so something we are ran because you gave him that slot.
We gave him the slot. So the party didn't make any mistake by expelling
him. But is he your member? Is he a member? Because you can only expel what you own. Is he your member?
Yes, he is a member of the CDC. That's why he was expelled. Because he contested on the coalition to get to the CDC.
I don't get that.
This is what I'm saying to you.
So something well like that CDC partisan, not MPP partisan.
So CDC didn't go to the election as MPP partisan. He went there as the CDC candidate on the coalition ticket.
No, but John did that one on the argument. There are other people who ran on the coalition was a composition of 3 political parties: the MPP, the LPDP, and the CDC. So each of these parties were making their way to the coalition. So even though the Sino or the Southeast may have been a stronghold of the CDC, but he heard Eric Paye. He said somebody took, and because they needed the endorsement of the other parties now. So they said, okay, even though the Southeast is a stronghold of the CDC, but they made from the MPP and we believe he's winnable. So instead of putting a CDC man on the ticket, we'll put an MPP man here to represent the coalition. So I don't know one of the men is Janga call that you get a document, you call to tell me what are the men are MPP men or CDC men. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you, Clarence. Clarence, I'm Jimmy. And I call you on a civil avenue in the border in Nikita. Clarence, my attention has been drawn with this poverty situation. Clarence, you see, it's very rare. Clarence, you see the country. The educated people are the people that are making the country when it comes to our culture. No, Clarence, they see prophecy, man, that insulted to the NDS. When to the NDS told prophecy to quote, that same quote should have changed us out, Clarence. Would you make case that way the liberal advisor to the president, the one who went for prophecy? So, Clarence, what the people trying to tell in the country was in power. When something happened, I thought they lost it.
Do you really see him going there for the man?
Come again?
Do you see Bushiba and Keita going there for him?
But
No, you saw him on any platform, any video, anywhere. That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay, Chief, thank you. Our PPCC friends are here, and so maybe I just take a few more, go straight to them. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
Well, Clarence, my name is Charles Ramos, and I'm in Monrovia. And Clarence, this is exactly the deception Peter Kokwe wrote about. And the long piece he wrote, it was so fiery and inspiring. And I like the way Peter Kokwe did not even leave the journalists up, because
he put order.
they are the bridge for which, or the conduit in which some of those verbal attack and indecent, and pronouncement and wordings are translated. And all of us who call ourselves political people, supporter parties to CDLs, and every one of us are guilty of this. So I like the way Peter, and this is what I want to speak to. So I say this to point to the point George Moriba is making. And no one can argue. I'm not a member of the CDC, but I'm a political party person, and I know how people become member of political party. To become member of political party, Clarence, particularly my party, and I show the CDC and other parties are also the same way. It is not only that you go to the secretariat and say my name is Charles Rao, you give me membership form. No, it's not the only way you jump political party. You can jump political party by expression, your action, your word. So you want the people Jackson or their t-shirt. You campaign in it. You call yourself sedition. Now listen, have you ever heard this mathematical adage that say a part of a part is a part of the whole? So there is no half. When you are a part of a part, you are a part of the whole. So that some part that you are of the people that want to experience, how can you say you're not a member of them? Now besides, no correlation go to NEG. They don't have two chairmen at NEG. NEG doesn't see two chairmen. NEG no one chairman.
So in other words, the man was expelled and the party was right to expel him.
Because when you go to NEG, Molu was a chairman, as far as we know, and as far as NEC know, Molu was a chairman of the party that signed his how you call it, his form to contest all the party ticket. So the party have all the right to expel him.
But do you know that they had their own inner coalition arrangement? For example, after the election, individual political parties can pull out.
Let's tell the one for them and we'll deal with the public. The public is that the people are announcing that the mayor, he was part of us before because we were collaborating. And so he carrying himself. And I want to say, the mayor carrying himself as a citizen lawmaker.
Okay, thank you. I see Andrew Peter is trying to call me, MPP, former Secretary General or Secretary General, but I'm not sure we have the loss of time. This will be my final call, then we'll take our guests. Yeah, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, Clarence. I'm calling from the state. If you can give me 3 to 5 minutes, we appreciate that. I'm calling from the United States because
I'm not sure I can give you that time, but let me give you 2 minutes. Call your name and let's hear you.
Okay. My name is Jones Kofa. I also contested in that district at Sansa we are one. From district number 2, Sano County. And I came 3rd place.
Really?
So I'm a citizen as well. So one of the reasons why I did not join, I did not take part on the CDC ticket, it was because of something when I approached the party. In fact, it started from when the late Namislot died. When the late Namislot died, 2019, I think there was 2020, there was a by-election. That's how he got on the CDC ticket. So when I came over 2003 to join on the CDC ticket, I told the CDC, I told Monuba, that man is not a clear citizen. If the man win, the man will be traitor. But he didn't believe it, and now they can see it for themselves. He was on the CDC ticket because of him. I ended up joining the PUP because CDC told me that. I said, look, this is a coalition, and that man is already on the ticket of the CDC, and the coalition is carrying, so we cannot put you on the CDC ticket.
Okay. I think the other people's argument too is that when you go to the election commission, the CDC something the election commission knows the CDC to be the parents for something well. When you go there and need there, say CDC lawmaker. But of course, these things are important. We also have to get all sides. Okay. Borges Carl Johnson, I like this man. He will always come. He's myself good at. He's always here. The executive director of the Public Procurement and Concession Commission. And then you not leave a man or two. He's director of communication. He believe in a man. He said, go 2 hours, go there. Okay, Nathan Bango and his boss, they both are here to talk about PPCC issues. it looks like they're making some progress. They succeeded in the online application thing they developed, and I think it's moving well. No. I'm not coming to no PR for PBCC. Nathan. Good morning, man. Good morning, gentlemen. It's always good to have the both of you. Good morning, Nathan. Good morning.
Good morning, Clarence.
Yeah, Nathan. I mean, we'll just do the introduction again, so the people who are viewing match the face with the name, so that do not take Nathan to be budgets and budgets. Yeah, from right here.
Thank you very much, Clarence. It's a very beautiful thing being back in the studio. We've been here several times. My name is Nathan Bengu. I am the director for communication. I'm glad that we're here today to give to the nation what we've been doing at the commission and the status of our work at the commission.
Yeah.
Good morning, Clarence. Thanks for having us again. I'm glad to be back in your studio. My name is Borja Scott Johnson, the Executive Director of the Public Procurement Concession Commission. Like you said, I will have become a Director of Communication because there's a communication still trying to get information out there to the public. So
yeah,
it's not a person can.
You want to shape that thing better? Yeah, you want to shape that thing. What is? Bless him, man.
Yeah, I got it. So okay, I think we this morning we're excited to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
the progress we made in the procurement space.
But by the way, how is the PPCC?
Oh, great. We're doing wonderful. I think you were there when the president mentioned in his SONA. You spoke about the PPCC, the transparency in the procurement space, and we're doing that extremely well. Since the beginning of this year, we are bringing on 50 marks. Marks mean ministry, agency, and commission. We are bringing those marks on the platform, and we did it successfully. They are very responsive. We are currently approving entities' procurement plan online, and they are also sending the procurement plan to us. We look at your plan, we execute it online, we approve it. In 1 or 2 days, your plan's back to you for execution. So it's faster than the manual system. And they're all surprised that this thing around, this shift, the transitional shift is so important for the country to create that. Because you see, procurement runs the government, runs the economy. So you can store on procurement. You gotta make sure people get it, the procurement plan approved to go start spending. Because all procurement processes then becomes a problem. The entity becomes stagnant, they can't perform. Then they will say, oh, government's not functioning, what's happening? So we try to make it very, very a quick turnaround time. So all those who have submitted a procurement plan online, I can tell you it has been approved by us, been published.
Wow.
The public can see it. The public can see what public was buying, Ministry of Education buying, National, NASCOB, NEC, APRC, all of them, the procurement plan has been approved. So we're making serious progress.
And I'm just thinking, I know we'll come to the main issue about what we are talking about, How are the counties still submitting procurement plans, if there's any?
Well, yes, we have Nima County on the platform. There's only about 2 counties on for now. That's Nima County and Moserado. Those are the 2 counties we have on the platform. And they'll also be submitting the procurement plan to us to allow. Now, the other counties, we will bring it in the third phase. So we got phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Phase 3 is the last phase. I mean, all government entities will be on the platform. We'll have to do some assessments of other entities to see the procurement bottom line. We see huge procurement. It's just so little that we'll have to maybe bang that up under the Ministry of Local Government. So we're looking at all those factors. But for now, we have the big counties on the platform. That's Nima County, Moserado County. We're considering Lofa County and also Grand Bassa very soon.
That's good. Nathan, before we go back to your boss, man, tell us what's in your office. What's going on? What are the other things you want to tell us? I know we'll focus more of our discussion on, this electronic government procurement system this morning. But what do you want to tell us other than this? Any other thing?
We have a very excellent boss, hardworking, who have been doing everything possible to make sure that we succeed on all of our objectives and agenda. Today, we have this EGP system that is going nationwide, that is in fact bringing everybody, all of the institutions of government into the system. You have the vendors, those who bid for government contract, they are coming into the system. This is something that is worth commending, especially when you have a leader at that hem of power. So on this note, we engage in nationwide awareness, EGP awareness. Today we've been here severally. Today we're here, and then we also have jingles on the radio playing because we want to engage the various stakeholders so they know exactly where we are moving with the whole electronic government system. Because the whole thing about it is to save government money. If you have a lot more people subscribing to the system and working through the system, the vendors are submitting their bid and bidding through the system, you have transparency, accountability. And what happens is that you have value for money, and then money will be saved for development. Remember, there are road development going on. We only save money to make sure that we develop roads through procurement. So that's why we're here today, to amplify what we have been talking to the public, the uniqueness of being part of the system and being aware of everything that we do at PPCC.
Mr. Scott.
Let me just reiterate just said. Let me just read the excerpt from the president's speech to show you that the first time the public procurement been mentioned in the SONA. He said, my government is advancing legal reforms to make e-procurement the standard and to promote fair, inclusive participation. In 2025, the Public Procurement and Concession Commission advanced Liberia's procurement system by expanding electronic procurement and strengthening oversight across more than 50 public entities. These steps protecting controls, reduce waste, and support the arrest agenda for inclusive development. So you see what the president is saying there, he's so right. And that's why we are doing at PPCC. We are trying to create transparency in the procurement space. Clarence, I'll say to you that since the beginning of this year, everybody that gets government contract, you have to come to PPCC and register as a vendor, as a business person. I hope you
have to come to register.
Yeah, the PPCC. See, we are at the end of the spectrum. You go to Labor Business Registration, get a business register. You go to LRA with a task, you go to NASCO, then you come to us. When you come to us, we have to verify all those documents to make sure it's not fake. You didn't get the government on the fraudulent, the government contract, because we talk to the database of NASCO and LRA, so it's working very fine for us. So if you're going to bid on a government contract in your LRA or LRA, you will not be able to bid. That's how the system works. So since the beginning of this year, when we start taking payment from the vendors, because we're giving information in real time. We have to pay for maintain the system. So if you come to PPCC with all your documentation to issue a certificate, we'll train you on the e-procurement platform. We have a training there every Mondays and Thursdays. You come, we'll train you, we'll give you a password and a user ID. If you don't have an email, we'll open an email account for you. So you can be able to see you respond from
Do I have to pay?
Yeah, now you have to pay, because years before you don't have to pay. Depending on the size of your business, how you want to participate, we charge you a fee now. So since the beginning of this year, since January 2nd of this year to now, we have raised over $30,000 just from vendors making payment. The vendors have the appetite for this because they see transparency. Some of them are winning contracts, some of them are winning bids, some of them are getting paid. So it's working, and we're getting somewhere with this.
How does that work? And what's the range? When you say contract,
if you want to participate in the range from, let's say, from $100 to maybe $10,000, the catering, you pay $50. It's an annual subscription. It's not for 12 months. So those who are right now, those who have paid, they are brand new vendors. Most of our brand new vendors coming into the system. We have about maybe 300 to 400 vendors on the platform right now that will be coming this year to renew their subscription. So we're looking forward to that. So basically, it's working for us, and we're having a discussion with the Controller General. That money belongs to the government of Liberia, not for PPCC. So the government could go in anytime and sweep that money out into the consolidated account. So how we have the account set up by a commercial bank, that will GT Bank. So if you come to PPCC, you go through the training, you do everything. The vendor registry department will give you your clearance. You go to either the bank, make the payment, or you go to LR, make the payment. Either way. So once your payment is made, you come back to us, we issue a certificate, you're ready, you're good to go. So, it definitely is working, and we are looking forward to raising maybe very close to $300,000 to $400,000 this year for government.
Now, what's the process of placement on the platform? Whether it's for Max or vendors that you're talking about? No, let's do the vendors first. The Max. What's the process of the placement? Because I heard you talking about over 50 as contained in the president's We have initially we started with only 6 entities. Those are the big spender: the Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Finance, Education, Health, LRA, and also us. So what we're doing this year now, what we have done this year, we already did that. We have brought on 50 more government entities. Now the codification will look at your procurement activities in terms of dollar value to place you on the platform. Okay. If the dollar value is so low in terms of procurement activities, we'll put you on hold here, because basically we have to pay for every entity that is on the platform. So if a procurement is less than maybe $15,000 a year, the PPCC pays for every entity on the platform.
Yeah. People pay for every entity on the platform. So to bring you on the platform, we can't be paying X amount of money for you, but the procurement is so low. It doesn't make sense financially. So we're trying now. Next year, we're going to sit down with my team and I will see how we can strategize to bring those entities in for government that don't have a huge procurement. But we have brought most of them in the 50 marks. We brought all the SOEs. That means FPRC, LEC, or local water and sewer. They are all now on the platform. Maritime, they're all now on the platform, and they're all being responsive. It's working very well. So all those 15 marks, we are also training the technicians. We are built capacity.
That's why I want to talk about
Yeah,
training.
we have a whole training department at PPCC. We are training the technicians from those entities. They come to PPCC. I think training is conducted for them. I think throughout the week, twice a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so I think 3 times or so a week. They come to PPC for training. We also train those on the procurement committee. We train the procurement committee members. We train the bed evaluation members. So everything is working very fine for us right now. And the response we're getting from the marks, from those who are technicians, the appetite is very strong. They are doing extremely well. They love to see the transparency. They see that now the work is changing. And besides that, after this, we're also going to give them some goodies. We're going to give the 50 marks some RCT equipment. We're going to give them laptops, printer, and scanner. So you have no excuse to say, oh, we can't upload our document, we don't have scanner. No. When we launched it the first time for the 6 in the pilot project, we gave those 6 entities laptops, computers, and everything. So now in the 50 mark, we're currently doing the RCT. The procurement is going to go on now to procure those items. So we gave the Ministry of Labor, the Ministry of Commerce, the APRC, we'll give all of them these goodies. We'll give, depending on the size of the procurement team, we'll give maybe 2 laptops, 3 laptops, printer, and scanner. So there'll be no reason to say we don't have the tools to operate. We train you, we give you equipment. So you have full capacity in terms of resources, in terms of human training, human capacity. We have done that also.
So this year you intend to add how many more counties? You say at the moment?
No,
2.
no, that'll be something next year. At the moment,
Next
only
year.
2. Next year, we're bringing phase 3. We'll start next year. We'll start having discussion on phase 3 next year. So this phase 2 is for the whole of this year, the 50 marks.
So the other counties are still manually.
Yeah, they're still manual. We still have the manual. There's also some other government entities that are still on the manual platform. For the most part, the Government Commission or the LDA, they are still on the manual process. So we're working alongside with those entities to make sure that everything have a smooth transition to the.
In other words, your system is functioning very well.
Very well. Well, it's a cloud-based system. It's functioning very well.
What is this thing about this passage of what it say a PPCC Act? Has it been?
Oh yeah. Let me speak on that. Yes, the PPCC Act has been passed successfully. We did that successfully. We now have the new PPCA 2026. So the act was passed by our lower and upper house, and then it was signed by the president. It's now been printed into handbill. I would maybe want to give you a copy of that. In that new act, there are basically 4 new instruments that we're looking at in the new act, and those instruments are the public, the EGP, the e-procurement. We're also looking at the public-private partnership. We're looking at sustainable procurement, and we're looking at gender responsiveness. So those are the 3 new components in that new. And then also, I think that the 5th part of it, we're also trying to protect local businesses in the counties. So we call margin of preference. So if you're let's say you're in Nima County and you're a carpenter, and the county administration is doing some tender in the county, we are seeing in the new law that it gave the local vendors priority. Do not take a carpenter from Monrovia to go work in Nima on a Nima County project.
That's what the new law says.
Yeah, that's what the new law says.
Preference.
Yes, preference to those in the counties, to those businesses in the counties, because that's how you build a local economy. You can't be taking folks from Monrovia. Monrovia is not bureau. So if Nima County is only taking procurement in the county, we are seeing a new law that you should prioritize those local vendors in the county. You're not going to take somebody to come cook kisao from Monrovia and take it for a meeting government having in Ganta. No, you must use the local caterer in Ganta or in Nima County. That's what the new law is saying. And we're not going to approve when we see you taking contractors from Monrovia to go work in Nima. No, that's a problem. The new law is protecting local businesses. That's how you build a local economy.
I'm just thinking sometimes, how do you even know? Okay, they'll have to submit
Well,
documents.
you have to submit documents. We will know because those counties, those in the county, they will be registered with us on the platform too. We know the location. So when you come in to do a tender of the county, you cannot take those carpenter or merchant from Monrovia to go work in the county.
Nathan, that's a good one. That's a good law. And public awareness falls directly on you. I'm just imagining and thinking, what are you people going to do to spray out? Localize it, take it to the county so that the businesses in the county will firstly know that there is a platform we're supposed to register, we're supposed to be on a PPCC, and then when we get on our platform, then we are protected now as local business people. What can you do in terms of awareness?
Clarence, the establishment, in other words, the development of this EGP system were well planned. We plan everything that we do so as to make sure that this become a long-lasting thing in Liberia. We have created different programs programs in terms of awareness. We have programs in terms of change management because people will resist the system. So we developed that. We're working with the World Bank and other donor agencies to make sure that everything we do will have sustained media engagement nationwide. We'll go to almost everywhere in this country to tell the various stakeholders that there is now a new game player in Liberia, which is the EGP system. You must comply with whatever details the law provides. And thankfully, the law has passed, and that law gives us the leverage to mandate every institution in this country to subscribe to e-procurement. So it will not be no excuse. There are other systems that fail in other jurisdictions, but Liberia, because we plan it, we'll move forward, we'll involve the media, the different stakeholders, civil society actors, and everybody that is involved in procurement to make sure that we succeed. Because it is talk about even helping the very user of the system, the institution in government that are subscribing to the system, trying to help them place laptop in their operating capacity at their various ministries and agencies, give them laptop and scanner. So to develop their capacity to make sure that they don't resist the system, because there are people who will sit in their corners or in their offices and say, we don't have laptop, we don't have printer to submit anything online. So we engage in them everywhere to make sure that this system is well thought of, and then they use the system, it will not be a failure. And before I maybe get away from this, the World Bank is also helping us. Today, we've been successful in signing a contract. Okay. And that contract, the consultant for that contract is going to review our EGP system. It's going to do a comparative assessment of the EGP system to determine how, if there are anything left behind, that we can also include to make it more viable. So that consultant is already signed on. He's begun work. And then we're also working. As we speak, the regulation is almost far. It maybe spoke to it, but we already developed the regulation. It's not final yet because it has to go for cabinet approval, but that is something that is also going to go side by side with the approved PPCC Act of 2026, because you cannot have an act without regulation. It needs to tell everybody, give detailed information about what is in the act. So we have all of these instruments to make sure that we don't fail. We continue to save government money, because the million that we save will go to development. And thankfully, we have worked with the government of Liberia, the Ministry of Finance. PPCC was the key developer of the PPP, the Public-Private Partnership Policy. It will give detail about it. That PPP is something we in fact make sure that even when people come in this country to invest, like maybe those into concession, like the road area, we use that PPP policy to make sure that we have contract for government. Like the road that is going to go to from Simple Bridge to Bowater, they will use that PPP. So you see, we don't lack capacity. We have the capacity at PPCC. We're helping government in many ways, not only in procurement, but also make sure that we develop all of the systems that we need to save millions for Liberian government.
Burgess Scott Johnson is Executive Director of the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, and of course, Nathan and Bangu. He's the Director of Communications. They're here. We're talking about the law, the act, the PPCC Act has been printed into handbill. And, particularly I like the portion that protects local businesses. And we are also talking about the government e-procurement system. Budget tells us 50 government entities have been, placed there. In 2 counties, Montserrado and Nimba, are currently there, and more to come next year. That's why he's telling us about the system and how it works. And he says they also do training, and they will provide some basic equipment to government ministries and agencies so that nobody will give any excuse for anything. Did I hear you say sometimes it takes just 2-3 days to to approve
in the new system now, the turnaround time is very fast. When you submit it to us, I send it down to my technicians, review it, send it back. You don't have to come PPCC. You don't have to be calling. We send email to you to say, hey, we received your plan. We acknowledge my email. If any issue, we'll get back to you. So we try to keep it that email communication. I tell my staff to cut down the too much phone calls because email will give you a paper trail. Email will tell you, say, okay, PPC received my plan, they acknowledge it, they respond to us, and then in the third day is to send it out to them. So the plan comes in the first time, we acknowledge it. The second day, we're reviewing it. By the third day, if no issue, you should approve the plan. The plan goes back to the entity.
Now, Mr. Scott, I want you to take a few minutes to explain this issue that sometimes bring about, I don't know, I should say misconception or in the public. What is this thing about the no objection thing? What is it? Yeah. Can you please just take some time? Because many times, entities will use it. Oh, we got no objection from the PPCC. It's like, is it a big protection umbrella that you have that when you give it to somebody, they just go about and do what they want to do?
Yeah, no, we are extremely careful with that. When the entity submit their procurement to us, and the procurement plan gets approved, and they're about to go and execute, and let's say they have gone through the entire bidding process. The tender process has been completed, everything has been done. Then they are now about to award contract. So they want no objection to say, okay, we want to award contract to this company. So they write me a letter based upon the justification in the letter. We're not just giving you outright approval. No, you got to give us justifiable reasons why you want for us to either give you no objection or to single source this. But in a no objection
after
case,
you have seen all of my procurement plan,
yeah, after you've seen your plan, you
qualify it.
You qualify, but you still got to go through the bidding process now to make sure the process was fair. Okay, so you get your procurement plan. Maybe you say you want to do restricted bidding. Now we try to start.
What is restrictive bidding?
Restricted bidding means you write a couple of vendors to participate in a particular tender. You write them and say, okay, I'm having, let's say you're doing a petroleum product or construction. You invite 5 different companies that have the capacity. You know they have the capacity, you bring them into the space to bid on a particular tender. So that will happen. So now we try to discourage the whole out of single sourcing. Okay,
what is single sourcing?
Single sourcing means you want to tell a particular tender, give it to a particular vendor. We all going through a competitive process.
Okay, you determine who you give it to.
Yeah, the entity will come say, okay, I'm writing you to give me no objection to single source to the particular company. Oh. And that's what we are in the new system.
So the explanation there is single source means I am Ministry B.
Yes.
I am writing the Public Procurement Concession Commission to say,
look,
you know what?
Okay,
instead of opening the whole thing up,
I'm not
I
doing
think the institution, maybe I can justify that they perform, they got book.
Right.
Please let me just give it to them directly.
Yes, exactly. The way it's saying.
Single sourcing.
Single sourcing. Therefore, let's say our agency is trying to do a nationwide awareness.
Yeah.
Instead of going through all the radio stations, say, okay, we're going to single source to the OKFM. Because Clarence that he man, Clarence will get him late kickback. So make like that.
Sometimes not necessarily that Clarence that he man, but because OKFM has a record of performance.
Okay.
Yeah. Because sometimes too, they make out to justify now.
I agree. I'm saying you have to give us justifiable reasons.
They company, the radio station. Okay, so that kind of go as will come from you.
Yeah, that kind of approval will come from PPC to say, okay, we're giving you the permission to single source to the particular vendor, but you must give us justifiable reasons. So
now in a justification, and I hope I'm not deviating from the discussion, but it's also important.
Right.
In a justification, what do you look up for?
We look to see if that vendor, the only one, can perform that service. If that's the case, then we say no, you have to open the process. Then we deny your request. Okay, you can come down and say only okay.
But you're not small gatekeeping. But you're not small man.
Oh no, we're not.
And you see why it's good for you to explain the whole thing.
Yeah. So we tell you say you can just give it into okay. On the station in Morovia, there are other stations around here. So we go through this thing almost on a daily basis. We say, oh no, you have to open the process up.
And I can imagine how you can go back.
But the good thing is with the new system, people are seeing the transparency, how it's working. Because if that's, for example, a woman came to me the other day in my office, she was so excited. She wanted catering a contract from government entity. Okay, she cannot tell me thanks. She just tell me say, because she said now I see the fairness in the procurement space. She said, but the first time I want a contract, I don't have to get somebody something to get a contract. She said, well, the first time. She's been cooking all over in the city. Most of the time to get contract from certain entity, she have to give procurement director something, the person something, so she can be one of the contract. But this time, she won a line, she bid it, and she won. And she was so excited about this. So that's what we're talking about. So now that entity want a single source to get that person alone. So what happens in a lot of catering companies? They have to participate too. So the vendors are not paying to use the system. So our goal now is to discourage the out of single sourcing. I can be paying for something, then every time I go low, they give it to the person here. They say, but why didn't we take and participate?
But sometimes you approve single source. Because
sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. Depending on the situation, sometimes we do. I'm not saying we don't do that. We do that. Sometimes we do. The issue on, for example, let's say the issue on drugs. Certain issue on drugs and HFO, the LEC. Those are very technical issues. You gotta be very careful how you deal with that. So because the lights gotta be on. if people, if LEC busted the executive management, so people say approve the plan, so not like the HFO can come. We don't want that.
And
so,
I want part that the president hosted will call up first.
Exactly. So when the kind of request come to us for HFO, for LEC, we honor them. We just verify the information. We make sure the vendor want to use in compliance. When once in compliance, we approve that no objection for single source. The same happen in the area of drugs. People in the hospital are dying. They want to get drugs in there quick. We'll look at because see the bidding process take a while. Some can ask you to reduce lead time. You reduce lead time from normally 4 to 6 weeks. We'll say drop it maybe 2 weeks. We'll give you the approval to go do a lead time in 2 weeks time.
Is there any reason why we should worry that the e-platform system will not continue?
I don't see why you should worry because one thing about life, people come, people go. Tomorrow I leave the stage. One day I will not be PPC boss. One day, that's life. So if somebody else will come, they have to pick up the pieces and move on. That's what life is all about. We all want to be around you, or Clarence. 50 years from now.
Sometimes you have to leave.
You have to go. 50 years, 20 years from now, we will not be around. So basically, you have to build a system. You have to have capacity in-house to train young people to come and take over. I believe in teamwork. Myself, I believe in teamwork. I believe that collectively we can achieve something good than individually. So I do that all the time. They will tell you that. So basically, our goal is to more or less strengthen transparency. Okay. Bring about accountability and efficiency in the procurement space, and that's working very fine for us.
Okay, let's take to the lands. It's working very fine for us. People, when you can't talk to, when nobody talking to you, that only machine you can read, just carry who you will go brag. Nobody talking to you. You're not seeing anybody. You just send a machine, they send it back to you. You just send it like that. 0777700999 and 0555995995. And these are the things we should, we should encourage in governance to make the thing easier. Some places you go apply for simple documents, sometimes whole 2 months, you just there, you can't get it, you just walking. Then sometimes you feel, that's where non-compliance can come in now. You say, but then with the library, we just, hello?
Clarence, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Isaac Johnny.
Okay,
I'm
Mr.
interested in the topic on a discussion.
Yeah, Mr. Johnny, let's hear you.
Yeah, I got a few issues to talk about. The last one, the director just talked on trying to do away with single sourcing.
Mm-hmm.
If I got him well, but later on, it's like he corrected it. He said that single sourcing, because in the event where we have only one company and we want a specific product, and only this one company has the capacity to deliver this product. So if you do away with single sourcing, it would not be in a fair place in the procurement process. And number one, but I think
he corrected.
Yes.
Yeah, where capacity options are limited, then you can talk about single sourcing.
That's correct. So in the new law, we cannot do away with single sourcing because there will be some instances where we need single sourcing. That's correct. Then the next one is procurement. I'm hearing about training for the e-procurement process. It is a good thing, but it's like the spending entities, the government procuring entities. We have some decentralization status. Now, if you collect, maybe I need some clarity on that. If you collect, for instance, procurement director in various those procuring entities, government procuring entities, and then those staffers are then decentralized, like at county level, what becomes of those procurement officers? Would they not be part of the training process?
Okay, thank you. Let's go and do international. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah?
Clarence, my name is Samuel B.N. Babajua. I'm currently in China, and I'd like to contribute to your show.
Mr. Babajua, let's hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to first of all say thank you to the OKF family for these kind of opportunities for those of us who are outside. We normally watch your show. I want to say thank you to the studio guests for the deliberation. I have a question in the plea. There are a lot of, bigger opportunities like my question is, are there any policy or are there any window for an opportunity to split some of these purchases into smaller chunks to allow Liberian businesses to participate. For example, if you're giving a $5 million project, article of purchasing opportunity sourcing, if a Liberian business does not reach to that amount or does not have
another Chinese call coming.
So, are there any opportunities to open the scope where they can split some of the bigger chunks, the bigger bulk purchases into smaller chunks so that Liberian participate?
Okay.
If there is nothing that can he please do something like that so that Liberian economy can thrive, Liberian businesses can thrive. Thank you so much, Clarence.
Okay, Baba Joa, thank you. You can always call us from China. Good morning. Are you there? No, we lost you. Let's go back. Good morning.
Good morning.
Don't tell him to lower it. You just cut it off, please. You just cut the radio off. Yeah, we want feedback. Yeah.
It's off now. This is Abraham, and I call you as one of the Beda's representatives.
Okay.
And I'd like to thank you for the show and thank Mr. Bob Scott and his team. Particularly, I love to speak to a few issues. One, this issue about system glitch. I understand the system is trying to do so much well, but I also believe that PBCC does not want to have this business outcry. However, we have one of our recent experience with the system. We were trying to do an upload, and even though we have a very current tax clearance, the system said we did not have a current tax clearance for which we could not bid for a particular process. That's one. Two, the issue about single source, as the director spoke, I think the Act provides under Section 55B that in cases of extreme emergency where the circumstances is unforeseeable, there is the rule which gives reasons a single source. But then the third one, so single source is only applicable when you have a sole bidder who produces a particular item. And I'd like him to particularly go to the issue of margin of preference, which also talks about the SBA, the Small Business Administration. I want to believe that margin of preference is given in some cases when goods are developed in Liberia and some parts are made here. But then he said his margin of preference was particularly where you go to a local county and then you have a competition, but then you want to prioritize those who are making provision in the county. And I think that is by itself kind of a bit contradictory. Maybe he can speak to it for clarity. And lastly, from my end, we have the amended Act of 2026, and we also have the Act of 2010. But then the 2026 Act is calling for direct mandate that procurement activities are done through the EGP. So I'd like to know for institutions that are still using the manual system, which Act does them, because you still have the 2010 Act, and I want to...
Thank you. You. I think you got your concern over. Let's take another call from China. Hello.
Hello, sir. My name is Thomas Malloy Sadie. I'm the Executive Director of Catholic Justice Girls Educational Foundation, Liberia.
Okay, Thomas City. Go ahead. Is this the Thomas City that I know?
Yes, sir. See, brother, I've been trying to reach out to you WhatsApp and Messenger, but it's been very much unfortunate that I can't get you.
Oh, Thomas, I'll get to you. Don't worry. Let's hear you.
Okay, yeah. I just want to thank the honorable director and his team in the studio for the level of work, especially when it comes to the issue of the e-program. But I just have a question and a recommendation. My first question has to do with the issue of the internet service in the different areas, especially looking at the kind of system that need to be very proactive, especially where you have thousands of bills coming in from different people to see after to implement a particular program. So the issue of the decentralization policy for the PPC, how is the director working on that?
Decentralization.
We have a very the issue of decentralization, especially when it comes to the issue, we have internet challenges right now in the different counties. How the director is working on that issue of decentralization. And I also do suggest the issue of single sourcing. It gotta be like really look at, because there are some times a lot of Latinos will say there will be a fireplace. So in order to carry on more single sourcing, I do suggest that that particular entity that will request for single sourcing, that it should be published. So the public can look at it. So the decision will not only be coming for the national director, but it will also be coming for recommended institutions and individuals that do trust and have a very high level of integrity. That's fine.
Okay, Thomas. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. Good there. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
Yeah, Clarence, my name is Akwe Kamara, and I call you from somewhere around Monrovia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good morning to Mr. Benku and the EV.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, I want to say thank you to the Public Procurement and Concession Commission team for rolling out the e-procurement platform, for which I was part of, even though I no more with the public entity, but at least they invited me to have participated.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a few questions for the team. One has to do with the amendment of the Public Procurement and Concession Act.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, I don't know why the team only decided to look at 4 different areas to amend, when there are a couple of other areas that we thought are supposed to be reviewed and, for amendment. Say, for example, we even supposed to look at the different thresholds, especially when it comes to the request for quotation threshold. I believe in my mind that I served, as procurement officer over a number of years at the public entities. There's an area where we all complain about that the amount allocated for request for quotation is low, and that's supposed to be increased. That's one. Two, the issue of the margin of preference. It's a good thing, but I thought that was already in the act, given margin of preference of a certain percentage. And what we required to have done was that at least to be exclusively clear that only Nigerian entities supposed to benefit from that. And lastly, my next thing has to do with their monitoring and supervision. As per the function of the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, they have to monitor public entities that are spending government funds. Now that they have only 2 of the counties already rolled on the platform, how are they going to monitor the implementation of the different procurement processes that will not come to them for approval after the procurement plan has been approved?
Thank you. We're not taking on any more call. We got less than 10 minutes. So we'll go straight to Mr. Scott Johnson and his head of communication.
Okay, let me there's I want to say thanks to all the caller. But we'll start with the last question that just came in. The last person who spoke about the issue of threshold need to be increased. We are currently working on the regulation. Like I said, we'll have the act passed, and once the act has been passed and printed on the handbill, we, as I speak to you right now, we have increased the threshold. So that will be given to the public at the appropriate time. So we have done that. The threshold right now, we understand, is very low. We now have a budget of 1.2 billion, so definitely we'll have to increase the threshold. So we're doing that right now as we speak. On the issue of monitoring compliance that he spoke about the PPCC, that's true. It's on our mandate to do monitoring compliance, and we have engaged the Ministry of Finance. The issue we didn't do it last year. We have logistical problem. Okay, we were lacking logistic. So to have vehicles go in the counties to inspect those government projects is strictly on our mandate. So this year we intend to do that. We intend to do that to the fullest. We have set up have a compliance monitoring manager. We'll build a team together. We will be going in the counties to make sure that we see the enforcement of monitoring and compliance on government, on taxpayer money. We'll do that correctly. On the issue of decentralization, the connectivity to the counties, we are working with we work with the county officials as to how best to get our procurement officers in the county service center. Okay, so those will be trained. We're not trying to take folks from Monrovia here to put in the county. We want to train people who live in the county, who maybe have some first degree or so. We train them on procurement. We have them placed in the county to be our officers in the county. The issue of connectivity, for now, PPCC will have the Starlink, because the system we have now is cloud-based. We cannot afford to not be on the internet. It's an internet-based system. So we have a cloud. We have a link with Starlink, and we make a payment on that. So we always have internet connectivity for the most part. So in the counties too, we're also negotiating with the World Bank and other development partners to see how best we can have similar templates in the county, so we'll have constant internet connectivity. Now, the first caller spoke about something about single sourcing. Now, we're not doing away with single sourcing, okay? Single sourcing, like you said, you have to give us justifiable reasons to be able to use the single sourcing process. So basically, we are working with all the parties involved to make sure that when you submit the request on single sourcing, we see the reasons for that and we give justifiable reason. Now, the guy that spoke on the issue of business participating, there's an SBA Act, okay? And what we're trying to do now is to enforce the SBA Act at PPCC. SBA means for small business with Ministry of Commerce. So, for example, if you're renting, every 25% belongs to Liberian-owned businesses, 5% for women-owned business. So we're trying to enforce that also. Okay. So when we talk about the margin of preference in the counties, we are not saying it's covered in the law. What we are saying that we're trying to protect the local businesses in the county. We're emphasizing that so that you don't have a tenant in Nima County and you take a carpenter for a year to go and work there. So I think again the mix of it's in the current law, in the 2010 Act, it's in the current law. So basically, I will let my director of communication to speak to on the issue of decentralization of the system. The communication, man.
So Clarence, what we done to make sure that we decentralize the system, somebody talk about connectivity, we are working with the World Bank. You know, World Bank is very much keen about taking government out of Monrovia, carrying government to the counties and having all of the county service centers. So what we've done perfectly is to have the negotiation with the World Bank. World Bank is going to fund certain programs where they can have connectivity, they set up offices at the county level, the county service center, and then at that county service center where ED talk about maybe placing staff, procurement staff at that county level, they will then supervise all our activities at the county level. There will be connectivity in the county. World Bank will support that, and the government of Liberia will also support that through the Ministry of Local Government. So we will not have any worries about connectivity. So people in the county can be able to submit their bid, use the county service center where our PPC staff will be placed, and then come and use all of the facilities that are there to submit their bid in a timely fashion. So that decentralization should not be a worry to anybody because we're playing for all of that. My colleague Akwe Kamara talked about, and taking about that, he didn't talk about the protection of procurement officers. I know he wanted to learn on that, but he spoke something very key on the monitoring aspect, which ED partly addressed. What we are going to do is to make sure that our team are deployed to the counties. The counties that are not currently in the system are using the manual system. Those counties will be monitored. Our staff will go there and monitor their procurement activities because our issue is about prevention. You have to prevent. So we're working with all of the different integrated institutions to make sure that we prevent whatever will happen. We don't want to wait for maybe when they commit the act, then we'll come after them. But we want to prevent it. So our staff will move out to the counties to make sure they review all their procurement documentation to ensure that whatever they do is in compliance with the PPCA. Thankfully, the PPCA is passed. So somebody was talking about margin of profits. We currently reviewing it as part of the regulation that we're developing to support the implementation of the PPC Act. We are developing the margin of preference, where we put into that regulation a particular percentage. Even if a multinational, maybe a concession company or a big company get a government contract, you subcontract portion of it to a local business. In that way, you build that capacity so that even if you leave, they get some money and their capacity is built to run over any program that comes, even when the international company leaves. So that's how we're developing it. So the regulation is going to take care of everything. The threshold is going to be added. We realize that it's small. We've been operating those thresholds at a very small level. We will increase it. We are discussing that. It's in fact in the regulation. We have increased that. Once that is approved, that will work along well with every institutional government that will have something to do with procurement activities in this country.
And then somebody asked a question on the what happens to those that are currently using the manual system. In the law, they say you have to use the e-procurement. That's true. But equally so in the same law, it says that we know those entities that are on the platform. Even though the law says that, but if there's any technical issues, you can write the commission to give you a waiver to use the manual system for any reason. But we try to make sure the system is up and working, it's up and running. So those that are still using the manual system, they are also protected and covered by the law, by the 2026.
Okay, Bango, finally, let's get you, then we'll go back to Edie to conclude.
Well, before I leave the studio, our major concern here is how vendors will be able to use the system. So this is a message to the vendors. Those doing business in Liberia, those wanting to submit tender for government contract, to get government contract and expand their operating capacity, to them we are speaking. Take advantage of the registration that is going on at PPCC. You can come to PPCC if you have some issues with your computer or whatever it is. Come to PPCC, will provide training and register you in the system. We will formalize your business by registering you in the system. In that way, you'll be able to take advantage of government procurement opportunity that are provided. He spoke about the small business act, where you have all the provisions there for small business people. So you come, you register, and then take advantage of government procurement activities. So on this note, I'd like to thank you, Clarence, and the entire listening public for giving their ears and listening to us to make sure that we do the right thing in this country. When we do the right thing, we'll develop Liberia. There will be hospitals built. There will be roads built. There will be education centers open. The youth will be empowered. So join us in our struggle to make Liberia better. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Johnson.
Well, Clarence, I want to say thanks for the time. It's always a good thing to come to OKFM. And I want to say to Liberians out there in the radio land that the time has come for you to participate in your country economy. There's no more excuse to say I can't see government tender, I don't know what government buying, my business struggling. When you come to PPCC, we definitely promise you, we have a very good customer service team who work with you to make sure that you own the system so you can be able to participate in government tender. And I want to say thanks to, of course, the Excellency, the President, Joseph Nima Boyka. They have been very supportive of the Office of the President. And also to my board chair, Dr. Alvin Kamano, who's also the chairman of the board of PPCC. So basically, I want to say thanks to my entire staff at PPCC. I have a very supportive team at PPCC. My staff very supportive. And we're working on this to make sure that we deliver to the Liberian people in real time, to control corruption, to bring about transparency and efficiency within the procurement space. So what e-procurement is doing now for the next, I would say, 11 months or so in this country, is to create that transparency, accountability, and efficiency in our procurement space. What we're looking for now is to encourage businesses and focusing on our businesses so they can come to PPCC and register with us. We have an engagement with the Ministry, with the Chamber of Commerce. We are engaged in the Liberian Business Association to make sure they all bring the people, all the members in the association come to us and register so that we can not just be spectating our economy anymore, but participating in government tender and government procurement processes. So I want to say thanks for your time. It was certainly a good time coming here. I hope you register with us. I hope OKF is on the platform. Because as next time we'll come here, we're not coming. We want to make sure they're on the platform, or we'll give the business to somebody else. Okay. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
that's
you
a
very
good
much.
one. Compliance is important.
It's important.
Well, Executive Director of the PPCC, Mr. Burgess Scott Johnson, he was here with the Director of Communications, Nathan Bango. And of course, they were talking about compliance and getting rid of all of the risk associated with procurement. But the most important is to provide the opportunity for more Liberian businesses to compete and get contract from government entities. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Minister of Gender will be here. Today is a government thing.
Life is not easy to carry on. I know you've been trying so very, very hard, but you got to be strong if you wanna survive. You could be a rich man. You may be a poor man. We are just the same. One life, one blood. Sometimes it gets so hard for you. You even want to kill yourself. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. As long as there is life, there's got to be hope. Whoa, whoa. Keep on trying. One day, keep on trying. It's gonna be better. Keep on trying. La, 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 la. Keep on trying. Take it to the Lord.
Our guests are here.
He will be on your side.
It's a Ministry of Gender sponsor show. We have some partners here. Coming up shortly, we'll join them for introduction and we can move on. Today we're focusing on the Liberian Women Empowerment Project. What is it? Who is it imparting? Where? For how long? We'll talk about this.
When your child will laugh at you, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. As long as there is life, there's got to be hope. Whoa. Keep on trying, forever and ever. Keep on trying, don't give up. Keep on trying, whoa. Keep on trying, no matter how hard it may be. Keep on trying, there's no easy way. Keep on trying.
Okay, the music is carrying me, but I have to bring it down to join our guests right here in the studio this morning. I have 3 Liberian women here. We'll go around the table for introduction and then we can move on. But like I said, today we're talking about the Liberian Women Empowerment Program. So most of the time I like to start from here, but let's start from over there. Let me change share around this morning. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Clarence.
Something is not rep yet. Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Clarence. My name is
Perfect.
Benetta Chabo Chato. I work with the Ministry of Gender as a director for Gender-Based Violence Division.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Thank you for having me, Clarence. My name is Rose F. Tower, and I also work as the Assistant Director for the Gender-Based Violence Division at the Ministry of Gender.
Okay. Let's end with you, ma'am.
Okay, so my name is Lisa Daise, and I'm a communications consultant for the Liberia Women Empowerment Project.
Okay, let's start with the Ministry of Gender, especially the gender, how is the place? How are you? What do you do particularly?
Thank you, Clarence. At the Ministry of Gender, we run 4 different departments in the gender ministry.
Okay.
We have the Department of Administration, the Department for Children, the Department for Planning and Research, and the Gender Department. Under the Gender Department, we have divisions. We have the Women Empowerment Division. We have the Adolescent Girls Division. We have the Peace and Security. And then we have the Gender-Based Violence Division, from which we are from to talk about today.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, so to add up to what she said, since she has already talked about the various division or departments within the Ministry of Gender. So as the Gender-Based Violence Division, we work as a team to respond and prevent violence. We also lead on advocacy campaigns that address violence, and we support the coordination and implementation of programs aimed at preventing and responding to gender-based violence across the communities and Liberia as a whole. We coordinate with UN agencies, we work with county coordinators, we also work with civil society organizations to see how best we can link survivors to essential services, that is health and legal, court, and psychosocial support.
That's correct. So let's go now to this project, the real reason why you're here. I just want to have an overview of the project. Yes, Madam Consultant, you wanted to say something? I want to know about the project, the overview of this whole Liberia Women Empowerment Project, its components, the results. But let's hear about the project. What's the overview? Yeah.
Okay, so the Liberia Women Empowerment Project is a 5-year women empowerment economic development project, and is being implemented in 6 counties: Royal Monserrado, Bapolu, Grand Juda, Riverside, Bomin, and Cape Mount. And we're in 498 communities. affecting approximately 267,200 persons. And particularly a component on there is the component 3 that speaks to the livelihood and economic empowerment, which is the grant disbursement, small cash grant disbursement to women-led enterprises, and we're going to be affecting the lives of 36,000 women across the country, particularly in those project communities. Additionally, the project is looking at strengthening public institutions to advance gender equality and also public the awareness of the public to making sure that we can understand what the project is also going to be impacting, especially the lives of people along the community lines in terms of strengthening their capacity, in terms of building resilience at the level of the community, and how those women and community structures can also benefit from empowerment. So that is basically the entire part of the project, and is a Ministry of Gender project, like that have been mentioned, and is being supported from the World Bank. So the World Bank has supported the project, and part of the money is from the bank, and part of the money was borrowed by the government of Liberia to empower women across those 6 counties. So at the end of this project, the government of Liberia will be paying part of the money, and the other money from IDA is a loan to the government.
Okay, that's correct. So you work with these women. You do what? Do you give? Do you provide grant? I mean, just give me a picture of what you do. You work with 6 counties, right? In 6 counties.
Yes. So the project is in 6 counties. So component 1. So I will break down the components
Please.
so we understand it. Component 1 is basically fostering positive social norms within the community. So most times, and it is much more linked to GBV, and that's why GBV is also here. Most of the time, you hear people mentioned within communities, and it is loudly amongst our people. When my husband ain't be me, he ain't really like me. Those kinds of negative norms and things that we see or hear within the communities, that is basically what the project wants to kick against. And the project is currently working in those 6 counties to raise awareness using the SASA methodology. So the SASA methodology is start awareness and support action. So it's a whole methodology that we adapted from East Africa that have worked in different communities to erase negative norms, to making sure the communities can become stronger, and those negative norms cannot impact the growth of people, and we can resort to more GBV cases. Because if you have the notion that if you don't get beaten on, it means you are not loved. It means when you get beaten on, you're not going to report it. And for the government of Liberia, I'm very sure from the GBV angle, they want to make sure that we don't have the issue of GBV being reported across the country. So we're supporting our component 1A, is supporting the SASA methodology in our communities to making sure that we can have those negative norms permeating in our communities. Subcomponent 2B or 1A and 1B is providing the community structures information on how the project works, on how to mobilize the community. So like I said, we work in 498 communities. So subcomponent 1B is there to do community mobilization and also reach out to the key stakeholders. So before you move to the community, you have to do the stakeholders engagement. That component is specifically responsible for that. So we move now to component 2A. Component 2A, we are strengthening health services at the level of the community so we can be able to make our people access the services. So that is with training health facility, their workers at those different facilities, and making sure that our community members understand how to access services, and not just when you get sick and you just stay home, but basically to access those services. Subcomponent 2B is focusing on shifting norms to keep girls in school. So most of the time we go out the community, then during farming time, all of the young women and girls will leave the town, go to the farm. We're delaying our sisters, we're delaying our daughters to access education. So the LWEP is supporting women access and young girls access to education, shifting the negative norms to keep them in school, making sure that even if the person, is experiencing something, they can still remain in school. When it's time for farming, we have to make sure they are kept in school so they don't miss out, because at the end of the day, if they are educated, obviously the community will benefit. So that sense of community ownership and making sure access to information is more for the community, and education is more for the young women is better. Component 3 is where we have the money.
Okay.
So the entire project is 44.6 million, and 23.6 is for component 1, component 2, and component 3A. So component 3B is 18 million. That is where the grant sits. So the sub grant, we are giving it to VSLA, Village Savings and Loans Association, individual enterprises under the project. That is the nomenclature we developed for them. An individual woman who maybe she's vulnerable, she has her children maybe, and she has someone catering for her, and she's been doing something. We want to ensure that we can expand the kind of interest and strength she's been able to put in whatever she's doing. So we gave the money to individual enterprises, farmers-based organizations, which is the cooperatives along the county line or the community lines, and so forth. So we gave those to 3 different groups. We also gave it to livelihood groups. There are people within the community who are doing maybe farming, group farming, and they structured themselves together, like maybe they're doing cattle raising and much more vegetable production. There are livelihood groups as well. Farmers-based organization, livelihood groups, individual enterprises, and the Village Savings and Loans Association. So the grant works in a way that we push you through. The first thing is to do the mobilization in the community. When we do the mobilization in the community, we go back to the community and do community profiling. So we profile individuals within the community, we profile groups within the community, and see what they have. The project is building on existing structures, and it's enhancing things that are already existing in the community to expand it and make it better and stronger. So that is what the Ministry of Gender, through this particular project, is doing. So when we do the profiling, we examine what is it in the community, how many groups are there, how many individuals are there, how many farmers-based organizations are there, how many livelihood groups are there. Then we move back to the community after we profile them, keep them in our database. We move back to the community and do what we call co-creation. So co-creation is a process by which we train the community, we assess what they have, and how we can be able to make an impact through the small grant. So when we've done the co-creation, and also make sure that we train you through the different processes of the grant, because there are do's and don'ts of the grant. When you can sell alcohol, you can sell cigarette, you can burn coal, you can saw plank, and you can sell gasoline on this particular project, because the project is promoting climate smart environment and making sure that we can destroy the planet. So when you're doing these things, we don't get engaged with you. We also provide education to you that this is dangerous and you will destroy the surface of the earth. So particularly the grant range from 2,500 to 8,000 United States dollars. So individual enterprises get 2,500.
What do you look up for in that category, in individual enterprise category?
So it's a single mother, it's a vulnerable woman who we've already identified from the profiling from the community. She's already doing something. Maybe she got a little table market, she get paid up, or only she get pepele, or only then that's something she's doing to support her children in school. So we profile her, pull her through the co-creation training, and after that we gave her the grant form for her to be able to sign, because maybe she being able to identify what she wants to do with the money. Okay. So at the end of the day, when you identify what you want to do, we pull you through the training and you sign the grant form. When you sign the grant form, the form is brought back to Monrovia. It is going through all of the different processes. The Minister of Gender approves the grant at the end of the day. So when we go through all of that, there's a committee that's responsible to review all of the applications from the community. It's called the APEC, the Independent Proposal Review Committee. So that committee goes through it and approves and comes back to the minister for signing. So at the end of the day, when that lady gets $1,250, which is 50%, we don't give 100%, we give 50%. After 3 months, we go back.
That's where I was coming before we go to the gender people.
Yeah.
I was talking about. I wanted to have an appreciation of follow-ups because these kinds of programs are designed to make impact, so that $1,250 or $2,500 not giving me, and after 2-3 months I go do something else. Gender is not coming back with the World Bank to do an assessment. What do you do to ensure? Because you want progress, you want to see. If you give me the money over a period of time, when you come, you want to see something.
Yeah.
Do you go back there?
Yes. So we just went back for the grant team, just went back to the communities to do an assessment of the grant performance. So we gave money to 88 women-led enterprises, affecting a total of 3,200 persons per hair count, and the total of 500,000 was given to those people. 405,000.
405,000.
Yes, was given to each of those different groups from a sum of total. So we wanted to see how they've been able to perform. So there are indicators that we're looking for, whether the money is gaining profit with the individual enterprise, whether you are already building on what you need to do in terms of supporting your children's education, in terms of catering for your own needs, and making sure the business is being expanded. So from success stories, which we already have, I would like to share with you. So the project is now taking place in 2 of the 6 counties. We piloted the project to have Monserrato and Bapolu pilot the project, so we see what outcomes we generate from there to be able to roll it out. Currently, we are rolling out to the rest of the county. So the president of Liberia mentioned in his annual message about this project the 3,200 persons I mentioned to you. So we just went back to assess what is happening to those people. And Clarence, I tell you, the money is actually making impact. So from a business perspective, that people from the communities have already been able to get this particular money moving into them because of the fact that we have a VSLA in Bangui, it's Bapolu County, Bokomun District. So we run 68 communities in Bapolu and in the 3 districts, Bopolu, Bokomun, and Bama District. So there's a an individual enterprise there. She got the total amount of $1,250. It's Nora Gayflor Business Center, and that particular money, 1,200, you times it by the rate of 180, she will get 227,500. When we went back to check, she had already generated 515,000 from the physical cash count that we made to her business. She had already generated 515,910 Liberian dollars. She grew the business by 55% increment of a total of $288,410. So that's a very great impact, and this is replicated
over a period of what?
Over a period of 3 months.
Okay.
So over a period of 3 months, she grew her business up to 55%. So this is replicated to other different VSLAs and individual enterprises that have already been able to raise their figures around that particular one. So we are pleased by the fact that it is actually doing significantly well in the different.
Let me go to the gender team. On a portion, or because you talk about different program areas in terms of the different components. Where are you, and what do you do with the community as part of your component of this program?
So from our side, the gender-based violence issue, as we all know, is very serious and very prevalent in our country. So we do respond to communities. We have a referral pathway that we use in the community. We create awareness on. Currently, we just revise it given the current day reality. So we're going to be validating it next week. So it's that pathway that we use to respond to gender-based violence issue, especially rape, which is on the increase. If you see what we declared last year, or cases we put there last year, we still found out that from last year to 2024, 2025, rape has been on the increase. Not because people are raping every day, it's because people are reporting these days. Yes.
Because when they don't report, you will not know.
Yes.
All of us will say it's not on the increase.
Sure. There have been a lot of awareness created in the communities on the issue of rape, and the approach to report it. So people started reporting these cases. So we are having these cases. If you look at the statistics for last year, we had a total number of 283,000. 2,800 and something. Then for this year, we got 3,823. So there's an increase in it. So we have a 38% increase in the rape cases this year. We must be accounting for 38% of the total cases in the country.
The highest.
The highest. Most has been the highest since 2024. It has also increased again in 2025. So there's a need for more awareness on the rape issues. So at the Ministry of Gender, what we do, we have our county coordinators in the 50 counties that generate these data. They respond to cases as we do in Moserado as well. So we are not only doing it in Moserado, we have decentralized that. The county coordinator collect these different data. We report on gender-based violence, which includes rape, physical assault, persistent non-support sometimes come to us, denial of resources, sexual assault, gang rape, denial of opportunities, physical and emotional abuse, statutory rape, female genital mutilation, which is the FGM. We also handle forced marriage and early marriage.
Now, do you have a functional, I'm just being inquisitive, do you have a functional call center?
Yes, we have a call center, 116 call center. So we have 3 sources of data generation. We have the county coordinator that generates data in the counties. We have the call center that also generates data from the different calls around the country as well. And then we also have the Ministry of Health. We have a one-stop center in the referral pathway at the Ministry of Health, which also generates data. So I did the sources of data generation.
What's the number? Is that something you can make public?
Which
the
number?
call center.
The call center, the number is 116.
116.
116, free.
So in terms of domestic violence, gender-based violence, rape issues, I just call 116.
Forced marriage, 116.
To any of the network.
Any of the network.
So Clarence, we have the GBV 116 call center. It is a national toll-free hotline, and this call center operates 24/7. It operates 7 days a week. So this call center is served as an entry point for survivors. So it links survivors to these various referrals. That is the one-stop center, the police, the Ministry of Gender as well. That is the host of the call center. It also links survivors to accessing various services. So the call center is functional. We have it run 24/7.
Wow, and that's a good one. Yeah, Madam Coordinator, you wanted to say something else?
Yeah, so Clarence, we have what we did with the new pathway that we just revived. First, we had in the one-stop center. What makes a one-stop center? You have the medical service there, which is the nurses. You also have the Ministry of Gender, the psychosocial that have to provide counseling to the survivor because it gets traumatized sometimes when they're being abused. And then we have the police, which is the one-stop, the WAPS, the Women and Children Division of the police also there. So you don't have to go outside the big going around. You already ain't the traumatized and be looking for where to go to get services. So we decided to add the code there this time around. The Ministry of Justice. We have the sex crime unit under the Ministry of Justice that handle the rape cases and other domestic violence cases. So we also added them there. So in our one-stop center, you're going to have everybody there. All the actors are going to be there, and they're going to respond to it so that our survivor will going to have easy access to the basic services that we offer them, and then they feel comfortable talking to people right there instead of carrying them around, looking for money to move around. So we have that service there also.
So
yeah.
Yes, you asked about the role of the Ministry of Gender when it comes to GBV cases. So the role the Ministry of Gender plays a coordination in the Ministry of Gender play and a protection role when it comes to gender-based violence cases. So the ministry ensures that the survivor receives safety. That is the first goal of the ministry when we hear of a GB gender-based violence case. The ministry works to ensure that the survivor has dignity and the survivor have access as well to life-saving services. That is the role of the ministry. So through our structures and our partners that we have, we facilitate psychosocial support to survivors of GBV. So the psychosocial support that we facilitate includes, we have counseling. We also have like an emergency funds that we give to survivors to aid in accessing services, that is from the hospital to the police station to the court. Because some survivors come in, they don't have the means to access these services. So through the support from UNICEF, we were able to access funds to helping these services to survivors. So we also work with referral for survival. That is, we take them from the police, we work with them. We do not just coordinate or call to say go to the place. We work alone. We have trained psychosocial officers, counselors at the Ministry of Gender. We have social workers at the Ministry of Gender that work along with these survivors to ensure that they access these services. So when it comes to the issue of protection, we coordinate with our land ministries, relevant land ministries and agencies, that is the Ministry of Health. We work with the police to ensure that the survivor access justice. We work with the courts. We call the police, we put pressure on them. But the Ministry of Gender does not take the role of the police. The Ministry of Gender does not take the role of the hospital. The Ministry of Gender does not take the role of the court, but rather we coordinate with them to ensure that the survivor has access to these services.
Let's talk, before we come back to Lisa, I want to know a little bit about some of the challenges you face. Is everything rosy?
No. So one of the challenges that we actually face when it comes to gender-based violence issue is the issue of under-reporting. And the under-reporting is due to stigmatization. Survivor feels that if they report, they will be stigmatized. They feel that in the under-reporting is also due to cultural belief. They feel that violence is a culture, is something that, their culture tells them that it is right to do. And another issue we have is the social norms that normalize violence. It tells you that a man is allowed to beat his woman.
Mm-hmm.
Or a girl will say, if my boyfriend does not beat me, he does not like me. So these are challenges that we face, and it actually affects our reporting. Because when these issues come up, people will feel that it is a way of life for them. They will not want to report it. So not that violence is not happening. It is happening, but people normalize it due to their cultural belief, due to the fear of them being stigmatized. So they feel that they can, they can live with it. And at the end of the day, we will not know the prevalence, we will not know who is facing violence, because when you are not reporting to us, we definitely will not know that this is what's happening to you.
Clarence, one of the challenges I also have when it comes to reporting is the family involvement in it. Most
compromise.
Often, yes, the family compromising the cases, because sometimes the family member who is involved in the process as a perpetrator. So no family want to see that relative go to jail, so they just cover up. Sometimes you go to the case, you do they provide the services, and every time they go to court, the family refuses to go to court. That's one of our major challenges with cases. So you realize that we have a high number of cases reported, but the ones that go to court, where we have our major challenge. So that's why the Empowerment Project talk about community awareness and things. So that's part of the thing that we want to focus on, to increase the level of awareness of our people in the community. That it's important that when your child is being violated, you should report it. Don't be afraid. Don't compromise your child's future. Yes. If you look at the number of cases, the ages range of the cases this time, it has gone to from 1 year to 5 years. That rape. Yes, 1 year to 5 years. So before it used to be between around 14, 15, 16, but it has come from 1 year now. We have cases where we are 1 year, 6 months old child being raped. And one of the cases we started to face to that. So it tells you that it's very serious.
It's serious.
We need to create.
You wanted to say something other than that, then we'll go to.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
We need to increase the level of awareness.
Okay. Lisa, anything else you want to say about the project?
Okay, so under component 4 of the project, I just explained from 1 to 3. So component 4 of the project supports public institutions to advance gender equality, and the project is supporting directly the Ministry of Gender, even though it is the Gender Ministry's project. But under the components of the project is designed also to strengthen the capacity of the Ministry of Gender in terms of the GBV component. We support the GBV department, the Women Empowerment Division, and the entire Ministry of Gender to be able to respond actively to these GBV cases. And through the support of the project, The national GBV call center was launched and is active, as they mentioned. So basically, that's some of the work the project is also doing. We're also going to be we're supporting the Ministry of Agriculture in terms of extension training for their extension officers, and because the project is also supporting agriculture extension with our beneficiaries across the communities. Those who are
And
making
those
farms.
beneficiaries should be women.
The beneficiaries are 70% women and 30% men. We don't want to leave the men behind because we realize that access to resources, if a woman has a lot of money and the man is there and he doesn't have it triggers a lot of negative effects. At the end of the day, you will find GBV. So we try to reduce GBV by engaging men to come on the project and also benefit. So if your village saving group is there, that village saving group, the prerequisite is that they have to have 70% women and 30% men. So we target along to making sure that we reduce GBV. So component 4 of the project is supporting the Ministry of Gender and the Ministry of Agriculture. Agriculture extension is to make sure we have gender disaggregated data on the agricultural extension of Liberia. So how many people doing low land farm? How many people doing high land farm? How many women are involved in the agriculture sector? So we will soon be climaxing a service provider contract to be able to run a survey to be able to have that particular data, the gender sex disaggregated data for agriculture.
There are 15 counties in Liberia. What informed the project's decision to work with 6?
So one of the key indicator was the issue of vulnerability in those communities and the high risk of GBV information from those particular counties. So let's take into consideration Bapolu. Bapolu, the GBV coordinator or the director is here, has been a hotspot for GBV cases across Liberia. Grand Cape Bank County is also one of the hotspots. Rural Monserrado, Tori. You'll wake up in the morning, you will hear about Tori. You will hear what happened in Tori. So those are hotspots that inform the project's response to those different issues that are permeating within the community. And the issue of livelihood, yes, those different communities too are also vulnerable communities, and we have the issue of the survival-based approach that we also been using in the community. So those were the key informant for the project's intervention in those 6 counties.
Okay. I heard you wanted to say something.
Yes. So another
challenge.
Another the link of the LWP project to the gender-based violence division. So the LWP project also focus on the capacity building of the service provider, our county coordinators. So with the support from the LWP project, we were able to train county coordinators, were able to train social workers, and were able to train core operators that operates the national GBV 116 toll-free line. So we actually believe that response, those who are frontliners of response, when they are not empowered to give the relevant services to survivors will not adequately have those services that they need. So the LWP project was able to support the Ministry of Gender, that is the Gender-Based Violence Division, to be able to respond to build the capacity of service provider of gender county coordinators to respond to gender-based violence. So some of I think if I were to probe in a bit on the reasons why these counties were selected, so we as coordinators, we as implementers of projects, so we have interventions in a lot of counties. So these counties that she talks about the vulnerability of these counties. So we have spotted initiatives that were targeting other counties. We have support from UNICEF, we have support from UNFPA in some of these counties. But for instance, the issue of the case of Bapolu was vulnerable. Bapolu had no intervention. So I think with Bapolu actually pull up cases of gender-based violence, especially when it comes to the issue of FGM. So with the project going in Bapolu, it actually serves as a recipe to ensuring that women are empowered so that violence can be minimized.
Okay. Another question I wanted to ask before we take to the line. What do I do if there was an incident of SGBV or rape case in my community, what are the lines? What do I do?
So the first thing I think you should do, or we know that you should do, is to call the 116 call center to report it.
Okay.
Where you are not able to call the 116 center, you go straight to the police or the hospital, the Women and Children Department under the police, which is responsible to handle the cases as well, and then to the hospital. The reason why you go to either of them or the gender coordinator, because we coordinate every day. We work together as a team. So once the police receive it, they will also elect the Ministry of Gender through the county coordinator or the 116 call center, so that we go to respond to those cases. Most often the cases that we can have, some of them, the person will have to be relocated from the community, from where they stay, where the incident has occurred because of the level of trauma they have received. So we have to relocate them to the safe home.
Yes,
so we have a safe place to take them. Okay. So we take them to the safe home. We provide psychosocial counseling for them. We provide medical and everything for them there. If the situation is serious, we take you to we'll go there at the time to go to the hospital. We assign a social worker to you that will be carried back and forth until you can complete your process, and then we reunite you with your family when you feel safe in the communities. So that's a lot we do. Interestingly for us, we have a government now which is actually interested in this or reducing the level of gender-based violence in the country. Under the AID, we have the program 48. It's strictly on gender-based violence. The government is also talking about it, making some progress in it, and they are trying to support it as well to ensure that they beef up the support that the partners have been giving all the time, so that it shows ownership to government of Liberia. That's what we try to do, and it's working. It's just that sometimes we have some challenges because the communities are very, 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 very far from one another. They don't have easy access to go and get the survival. Places that bombing, places that Bapodu, it's very difficult to transport them from one point to another. So sometimes they survive. I mean, the parents just get tired. The perpetrator runs away, most often, all that kind of stuff. But we are making progress, and we're hoping that with the government support, things are going to get better this on the daily and a yearly basis, and we are going to ably respond as a ministry as we should do, so that our survivors from a safe place to be. Thank you.
So Clarence, like she talks about calling the 116 call center just in case there's an issue of violence. So when you call the 116 call center, like I said earlier, they refer you to the necessary referral points for gender-based violence survivor. So if you cannot call the one, just in case you do not have a phone, she talks about a nearby hospital. That is, we have the one-stop center or referral hospital. We have trained nurses that examine you. So the reason why we stress on the hospital being the first point of contact when somebody is abused, because the hospital provide immediate medical care to that survivor. The hospital will give you medication to treat whatever STIs or HIV, AIDS, or unwanted pregnancy that may come as a result of the violence that occurred to you, more especially for sexual gender-based violence, that is rape. So the hospital also help with forensic evidence so that you can be able to process your case in court. So we always stress that if you call the 116 call center, it will link you to the various referral points. But if you cannot call the 116 call center, when anybody is abused or anyone that experience violence, we advise that you go to the hospital so that you can be treated for, and then you can also have evidence to prosecute your case.
Okay, with that said, we can now take to the lines on 0777 700 9995, 995 995, and 555 995 995. Today we're talking about the Liberia Women Empowerment Project. It's a World Bank funded project in collaboration with the Ministry of Gender. The Liberian Women Empowerment Project, it says, is a $44.6 million multi-sectorial initiative to address key barriers to gender equality in Liberia, which aligns with government priorities on women's empowerment and GBV prevention and response, while contemplating complementing ongoing investments and piloting new initiatives in healthcare education and GBV survivor services. Let's go to the line and get you to ask your questions. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
This is Xavier George. I'm joining from Cape Mount.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to understand something because your students spoke well, and thanks to them. But something about the CVA, the community-based agent, what are they saying about that? Especially from us, Cape Mount, we'll start contract 3 months. We are here to get our staffing.
You're going to be there. All right. Hello.
Clarence, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Samuel Tawetama. I'm calling you from the AME University.
Okay.
Yes, first and foremost, I want to acknowledge the brilliant presentation of 2 of my colleagues. That is the President Lisa Darcy, President Female Journalists Association of Liberia, and that of...
At this point, she's here as a consultant.
Okay, whatever position she is, I'm just acknowledge brilliance.
Okay.
And especially with regards to what they mentioned on the parameters for selection of businesses, I mean, over to or heard that they do not incorporate people in power swapping. And that is as a result of, climate change. And I think that, in as much as climate change is everybody's business, we do not honor the importance, of using our resources in the area of our forestry. So if people in the area of in the business of sowing are not doing it the right way, I think should be some level of training given them. There, there could be good area for investment, especially women in our business.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear you. Hello.
Good morning, Piso.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guests. I'm David E. Harris in a call from Benson Street.
Okay.
Thank you, your guests, for their deliberation. But I would like to ask you a question. What is the nature of gender doing to deter or curtail our teenage children that involved in prostitution across this country? Thank you.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Johnson Slomo. I call from Iron Gate.
Yeah, Johnson.
Yeah. I want to ask, the rape partner, and when the case is being reported, sometimes the hospital, nearby hospital, and that person actually was just sometimes lying on. Is it the hospital can really be reported that complaining that no, actually this is
the hospital is not a code. No, it's a police station. When you go there, they only give report. Whatever report they give goes to, I'm sure, the police for preliminary, and they use it in court. The hospital will not tell you, say, no, the person didn't rape you. They will just do assessment and give report.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello, thank you. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah.
I'm Jerry Jala from Bala.
All right, Jerry.
My question to our young sisters is that in case you marry a woman, and then now the woman that you marry her, but then she takes friendship in it and put it on top of her head. Sorry to say that. But then now
You say she take what? She take friendship business?
Friends. She my friend now. This is my friend. But then now every time she leaving you, in fact, when I leave her, she leaves the children in the house. Sometimes 10, 11 o'clock, you come from work, you don't see her there. But you call her, she will do friend. You call her, she don't answer your phone until then she wants to come home. Sometimes she done 2, 3 or 4 in the morning. Sometimes 2, 3 days she inside ask her, I was my friend. Can you did that with gender pay? That's my question.
I thought that was personal issue, but let me leave the general people to respond. They will respond. Me say, for example, your woman just, who did she just also our friend and you won't tell she also.
I tell you.
It must come to general to complain. Final caller because they will have to explain more. Hello.
Good morning, Clarence.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where we are joining from KJY community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clarence, I love what your student just said. But the issue I get with the general ministry, if the person go to court, Clarence, and the court found the jail, they don't go for follow up to know that the person is in jail for 2, 3 years. Let's see the case. They don't do a proper stay, sometimes 4, 5 years out of green and be costly. Because by right, when they are saying that, I will condemn rape, but when somebody accused, when you go to jail, I think the minister themselves will get a leak up partition to go and see all the general cases to know that who is there and there is no persecution.
Thank you. Let's go back to them because we got less than 10 minutes. Yeah?
So I will go with the question that has to do with the marital issues that he talks about. When you marry a woman and she doesn't listen to you, she stays out. So at the Gender-Based Violence Division at the Ministry of Gender, we have psychosocial counselors, we have social workers. So we are open to these kind of cases. So what is it that we do when, if you take a complaint to us, we do a communication to your partner and invite your partner over for mediation. So if we feel that the case is beyond us, we refer to the Ministry of Justice, that is the Sex Crimes Division at the Ministry of Justice, and we also work with them to ensure that either the case is settled or it has gone to another level. So we work with them. We, at every stage of a case, we work with them, and we are open. So if anyone faced with the kind of situation, we are open. We provide mediation, we provide counseling, and and ensure that broken homes are restored. So that is our mandate. That is our role at the Ministry of Gender.
So let me start with the last concern that has to do with follow up at the court. At the Ministry of Gender, we have we have re-established the legal department there, and our legal team has been doing extremely well since last year. They have been following up on cases that have been sent to court, and also ensuring that cases that have been investigated goes to court. So, but the Ministry of Gender does not have the power to remove people from prison. The justice system is there. If your person is in prison and they sent to prison for rape, they must have gone through all of the different processes before they went to prison. If you feel you are not getting justice for being in prison or you didn't commit any crime, you can bring the case up and then we can follow up with it through the justice system. For our role, we only make sure our survivors got safe and access to justice. Our survivors are safe medically and everything. When we send you to the justice system, the justice has their own procedure that the ministry does not interfere with. All we do, we follow up to ensure that justice is being served to our survivors. For the one that has to do with prostitution, what we can do, and that's what we were doing here, Lisa, from the Women Empowerment. We try to empower women and communities to create that level of awareness. Once a woman is empowered, she can afford what she wants to do, especially for her needs. She wouldn't have to go looking for money through prostitution. We can just create awareness and speak to our people, build their capacity, and ensure that they become women or to be able to sustain ourselves. Talking about self-sustainability, that all we can do. But prostitution is something that you can't say Mr. Gender we eradicate 100%. We're doing our best. We're creating awareness. We are empowering girls and women to ensure that they become self-sustainable to be able to move from the street.
Okay. Tawa, let's come to you. Then we can just get to Lisa and conclude. Yeah? You.
Okay, so Clarence, I want to say thank you for having me here. So for my closing statement, I want to say that gender-based violence is a crime and it is a violation of human rights. So we are here, we at the Ministry of Gender, we are here to tell survivors that they are not alone. We are there to ensure that they are safe, that they regain their dignity, and that they have access to services so that they can be able to live a free life. We also encourage them to, whoever that is abused or whoever that faces violence, I also want to encourage them to use the National Toll-Free Line 116 call center. We operate 24/7, and at the calls, when you call the 116 line, you will have it is free and accessible on all networks. You will also have trained call operators who are there to refer you, and wherever you are, the call center is nationwide. So I want to encourage everyone to make use of the National Call Center, and to also encourage them that we at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, we are there to to support them. We are there to ensure that they regain their dignity. And another thing, before I close, I want to say that the Ministry of Gender, we cannot replace the police, we cannot replace the court, but we are there to support the survivor, to coordinate with the police and the court to ensure that survivors have access to justice. Thank you.
Madam Coordinator.
So thank you, Clarence. It was a good interaction today. I think this is important to always do this, especially with the increase of gender-based violence in the country. It's important that we have this kind of conversation on a regular basis so that our people can get aware of the different things that happen, especially that we kind of started experiencing people getting pregnant in the process and having these kind of babies. When this case comes, it becomes another responsibility for the survivor again. So I believe that with more awareness from the angle of the Ministry of Gender, the civil society, and everybody else involved with this awareness, our people will get educated and will understand how to avoid it, and especially with the issue of the babies who are very innocent and they are being molested all of the time, they are being raped. I'm not sure it's a good thing for us to have in our society. So we have to encourage everybody to ensure that these different awareness are being carried out in the different communities wherever you find yourself. You can be an ambassador of change in the community in terms of gender-based violence, so that together we can assist the government of Liberia and the Ministry of Gender to reduce the level of prevalence in the county when it comes to gender-based violence. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Consultant, let's hear you.
Okay, so thank you to my brother who called from Cape Mount. And interestingly, Cape Mount has the highest number of communities that we're working with, 114 communities. For the issue of the CBA payment.
Cape Mount, I can file a protest.
Don't talk to Cape Mount like that, I beg you.
They protest filing Cape Mount.
You're not ready for us. So Cape Mount has 114 community, Babalu 68, Bomi 86, Monserrado, Rural Monserrado 99, River says we have 84, Grand Chile we have 47 communities. So to the CBA payment, and we just came from the field, like I told you, the Grant Performance Assessment Mission just concluded from the field, and we realized that those complaints were also given to us, and our team is looking into it. They are going to basically respond, especially so in terms of the payment to the CBA. So we don't think that should be a problem for the payment of the CBA. They selected communities in terms of pit soil training. I think somebody referenced that particular question. So the World Bank has strict restrictions on what the project can do and what it can do. We can't keep, destroying the earth. We can't keep destroying the limits of the soil. We need to make sure that we have strict adherence to what the bank policy on climate is and our environment is. Because if we saw the tree or we cut all of the trees from the forest, what will help us when we have storm? What will help us when we have wild rains that will be falling and also destroying whatever we have in the community? So that is some of the precautionary measures we're doing, even though we're supporting those communities and our preferred beneficiaries on what they need to do in terms of what are the do's for the project, but we want to make sure that they are not following the other odds of the project. So in the coming months, we are gonna be beginning disbursements to Bomi County and Grand Cape Mount County. So for the 3 women-led businesses have already been approved by the Apex Committee.
For the
3 women-led businesses, so they're going to be receiving their grants on the basis beginning tomorrow. They're going to be receiving their money through mobile money, because the process is not from hand to hand. It is through a mobile money, and we support them to register those different mobile money services with Orange Liberia to making sure that they can be able to access their funds. So from the project angle, if you want to have more information on the project, you kindly call 4433, that is the project hotline, and you can be able to have more information. For GBV, just before I leave you, is to make sure that you can call 116 to access the hotline, because we want to ensure that GBV is drastically reduced before the end of this project.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Clarence.
Oh, y'all want to come back?
Yeah, we'll
all of this, we are happy if we didn't have a minister who was so passionate about reducing GBV in the country. So we'd like to say thank you to our minister and her able deputies who have been very instrumental in getting this information out to the public. You're going to see more of the ministry passing, talking about these things so that we can reduce it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah, you see, you've been doing a lot, but you were not talking. Now you're talking now.
Yeah, thanks so much, our dynamic minister, Honorable Bobby.
How you want to tell it?
Yes.
The minister heard it already.
Yeah, for challenging us.
Well, I'd like to say thanks to all of you. Ministry of Gender and World Bank collaboration. Tomorrow is Armed Forces Day. I can't tell you all happy now, but tomorrow is Armed Forces Day. Thanks to all of you for listening, man. Bye-bye.